Oklahoma's own News 9 presents the Run to Remember.
Good morning, Oklahoma, and welcome to the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, a Run to Remember. I'm News 9's Amanda Taylor along with Carl Torp. We are so excited to be here with you today. This is going to be such an amazing day. We're going to be joined by so many racers as well. In fact, in all, close to 19,000 racers registered for all of the races from all 50 states and 17 countries.
And the wait is almost over. We're almost there. At 6:25, the wheelchair athletes take off, and at 6:30, the half full and relay runners will hit the race course. The Run to Remember is the biggest fundraiser for the OKC National Memorial and Museum, dedicated to the victims, survivors, and first responders from April 19th, 1995.
And it really is a celebration. It is a celebration of life and just how far this community has come. It's also a qualifier for the Boston Marathon, so it is a really big deal. And we have crews all over. We can't wait to show it all to you all the way throughout Oklahoma City, a couple of other metro cities as well. I want to show you just a few of the locations. Of course, the start line, the finish line, Bricktown. We're up at Gorilla Hill and then over in the Asian district. And then the one, the only, Jim Gardner up in Bob Mills Sky News 9. He is up there. And instead of tracking tornadoes today, David Payne and Lacey Swope are going to be tracking the lead men and women's runners.
That's right. And Amanda and I, we're at the finish line here. At the starting line, that's where all the runners are right now. They're at 5th and Harvey, and we have Robin Marsh and Lacey Lowry there for us. Good morning, ladies.
Morning, and we are so excited. I think we have the best seat in the house right now. Don't
We
you,
do.
Lacey?
It is electrifying over here. Everyone's getting ready. Runners are starting to line up, and we're waving at them as they go by. It is a great morning to be out here.
Well, I tell you what's so neat, because the runners are lining up. They will actually pass us when it all starts, but family and friends, people cheering on strangers. We have every state represented here and 17 countries, and so we have thousands of people converging on downtown Oklahoma City as we all get ready to run to remember.
We all have a reason to run to remember, and we just love that this race goes all through Oklahoma City, right through the heart of downtown. It starts here at the grounds of the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. It goes through 25 different neighborhoods, and every single stop has people supporting each other, cheering on the crowds. We've spoken to a couple of runners this morning, and they said, you know, I was a spectator at one point, and then I wanted to be a part of it, and now I'm running in the half or the full. So we're going to have just shy of 12,000 people at this starting line this morning. The whole weekend, nearly 19,000. So it is just so exciting to be here at the starting line.
It is electrifying, and you're looking at people who are getting ready to go. And thousands of runners, I mean, just in the last 15 to 20 minutes have converged. They are all getting in their place as we get ready for the half and the full marathon and the wheelchair marathon. The lady who has been so responsible for putting so much together, or at least getting the right people in place, is Carrie Watkins, the president and CEO. We meet again. It's a beautiful morning. Carrie, it is like picture perfect.
I mean, this is unbelievable. We're so excited. People are lining up. This is the result of hundreds, literally hundreds of people's work since last fall. Lots of volunteers, lots of staff time, but it's a result of a community coming together like we did 28 years ago.
It's amazing to see the support, too, for runners here, because, you know, we have people really, families come in, and it's that Oklahoma City is in such a spotlight today.
Well, I mean, we're in our very best. I mean, we're showing the world what we can do when you're taken out. You don't go down. And I think Oklahoma City stands as a beacon of hope to cities all around the nation. People still come here to figure out how we've done this. The mayor will play a big part this morning. The governor runs. The lieutenant governor's running. I mean, everybody's out on the course running a part of the relay or part of the race. And I think it's just when you start winding through the neighborhoods, you see a little bit of everything in Oklahoma City.
Yes.
Last night I saw Gorilla Hill at its finest. I had a little pasta party at the Farrell's house. Susan Farrell died in the bombing. Her family still gathers at her house for
Yeah.
dinner every week, every year. It's incredible how people are coming together.
How is this year shaping up to years past? And I know COVID kind of dipped numbers down, but we are marching back strong as far as participation.
Well, after COVID, all the race directors we all met, everyone said it'll be 3-year climb out, and I think they're exactly right. We're right at 19,000, just a little shy of 19,000, which is where we thought we'd be. And so we'll keep plugging along, and we'll get back. But I think people are, the weather's great, so it comes down to, no matter what, it comes down to the weather. I mean, yesterday we sold out of the full and the half in the last hour because people are like, I'm going down there, I'm going to do it. So I'm trusting there are people out here who have maybe not trained, or they just decided that they're in good enough shape they can do it. But it's going to be a great day.
What do you think when you look and you see these shots of so many people coming here? It's personal to you, one of your own family members running this morning.
Yeah, your son, my daughter in that crowd. I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
I have a really grateful heart just that people want to still come to Run to Remember, and they're willing to. This is our largest fundraiser, so they're willing to come and support this memorial museum that receives no government funds, and it's our biggest week. And I think we had more time between April 19th and the marathon than we've ever had. I think 9 or 10 days. So I think our staff is incredibly rested and excited. So we're ready to go. Let's go Run to Remember.
You guys
All right.
are doing a great job
Let's
getting this
marathon.
ready.
Carrie Watkins, thank you so much,
Thanks, you
and
guys.
we'll see you at the finish line then.
We'll be there.
All
Thanks,
right.
Carrie.
Oh, man, so exciting. More runners coming in. We want to take you through the event schedule this morning. There is also going to be the wheelchair race is going to start things off.
It's not just the marathon. You've got the wheelchair marathon, the half marathon, and the relay. The wheelchair marathon gets underway at 6:25. That's what kicks everything off. Then the marathon, half marathon, and relay runners, all of them start the course 6:30 sharp. Things wrap up with a finish line festival at Scissortail Park. That's from 8:30 to noon, a huge party right there.
Well, I tell you, this has been a weekend that has put Oklahoma City in the spotlight. It started Friday with the Expo, then Saturday. The Expo continued. The 5K, I even did it. My time wasn't great, but I finished.
You did it. That's all that matters.
Yesterday they had the senior marathon. I mean, to see the seniors run from where we are to Scissortail Park to finish that last mile was beautiful. Also, we had the kids marathon. It was so wonderful. And then the blessing of the shoes. They had a big service yesterday for runners who wanted to have their shoes blessed as they get ready to run. And then there was a big prayer service. We were here for that this morning, too.
Right at the Survivor Tree. It was very moving on the grounds here of the Oklahoma City National Memorial. First Church pastor Chris Dodson leading the service. He calls it a moment of serenity, all leading up to the big race today.
Well, our team is positioned in about a dozen spots along the marathon route, but maybe the person who has the best job right now is our Jordan Daphne.
Yeah, she is right in the thick of it with all the runners. Jordan, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. I always get the best job. It's such a joy to be here at the starting line with all of this energy this morning. And look who I've got with us. Our Alex Cameron flew in all the way from Washington, D.C. to be here this morning. It's not his first rodeo. This guy right here is also his son, Scott. He came from Dallas, so some of the examples of people coming from out of state to be here take part of this. Alex, what does it mean to you to be here this morning?
Well, as soon as I found out that Channel 9 was going to be the broadcast partner this year, I said, there's absolutely no way I'm going to miss it. But I probably would have come anyway. I just love this event. I took part in the very first one, ran the half marathon that year, and have participated. I think maybe this is my 10th time. And I'm so happy Scott could be part of this. It just worked out fabulously. So it's just such a meaningful event.
I know that you guys have done, or you've done this for 10 times, you believe, maybe. Is this your first time running with your son?
Well, you know, during the pandemic, they did a virtual relay, and so Scott participated then, but this is the first time we've been able to run together, so in person, so it's exciting.
That is so exciting. Scott, what does it mean to you to be here running in this race with your dad?
I mean, I'm really excited. It's my first time running this in person, and to be here not alone with a family member, I think it's going to be a great time, and obviously for an amazing reason to be here.
Of course. Alex, when you do the relay portion, how many miles does each person run?
So the relay is broken down into 5 segments. There are 2 5Ks, 2 10Ks, and a 12K. So the first leg is a 10K, which I'm going to run. Then there's a 5K. Then Scott, the young guy here, gets to run the longest leg, the 12K. Then there's another 5K, and a 10K is the finishing leg.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thank you so much for being here and talking with us. I know you got to get warmed up, so we'll let you go. You guys, we'll be here all morning long and show you the fun and excitement happening right here at the starting line. I'm Jordan Daphnis. I'll send it back to you.
Oh, Jordan, thanks so much. The son showing up the dad today.
I love it. I love that Scott has to run the longest leg right there.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, we are so excited getting ready for the countdown for the Memorial Marathon. We want to give you a little bit about how the marathon stretches across the metro, laying out the path that runners will be taking, going through 3 cities, going through Oklahoma City, going through Nichols Hills, and the Village.
Yeah, take a look at this animation we've created to kind of show you this course. It covers a lot of ground. Starts here at Northwest 5th and Harvey, where Robin and I are in downtown Oklahoma City, right by the National Memorial. It stretches through Bricktown, around Northeast OKC, cuts across the state capitol, up through Nichols Hills, the Village, over to Lake Hefner. It goes through the Asian District and back down through Northwest OKC, finally ending in downtown Oklahoma City at Scissortail Park.
And there's also an app that the marathon has. You can access course maps with the list of parking areas, water stops. I believe there's over 20 water stops for athletes. You can also use the app to track runners in real time. There's an event guide, and you can see the entire event schedule. You can download it all by going to okcmarathon.com/app or search OKC Memorial Marathon in the Apple App Store.
I'm loving the clapping behind us. It's all the volunteers and all the organizers. And you know who needs a round of applause is meteorologist Cassie Hyder. She's back in the News 9 studio. Cassie, we keep hearing everyone say, this weather is great for race day.
I'm so glad that it is. You know, I was talking to some people earlier, and they were like, you know, they really enjoy it when it's cooler as people run. And thankfully, that's exactly what we're getting right now. This is our Regency camera up at our Lucky Star Skycam network. We're at 49 degrees. We've got a light wind today coming in out of the northwest. We're at 49 in Oklahoma City, surrounding areas low to upper 40s with a light wind. Again, coming out of the northwest right now, wind gust up to only about 7 miles an hour. Well, temperatures are going to eventually climb into the upper 40s by about 8 o'clock. I think by then we're going to see plenty of sunshine. It's going to end up being an absolutely beautiful day. Now, the wind's going to be picking up a little bit, but we're talking between 5 to 10 miles an hour at the most. By 9, we're going to be in the low 50s. By 10 o'clock, temperatures in the mid 50s, and at its peak later this afternoon, temperatures will eventually wind up in the upper 60s. So it's an absolutely beautiful day out there today. And I know, Hannah, you've got the latest on the big traffic issue out there today.
Yeah, exactly. For those of you who are not running and maybe want to get out and do some things later this morning, there are some closures that you need to worry about. So the first mile has been closed since 4:30 this morning. All the other routes, all the other roads along the route are going to be closed by 6:40 this morning. It's kind of a rolling deal. So the earliest one is going to open at 8:30. That's obviously going to be closer to the start. The latest, so if you're closer to the finish, that's going to open by 1:40 later. So don't have time for every single route along the closure or road along the route that's closed, but a couple of the big ones are going to be Lincoln, right near the Capitol, 23rd, also passing under I-235. Classen Boulevard is closed in a bunch of different spots, so definitely be careful that away. Grand has a large area that is closed as well, along with Britain, and that's all going to be north of I-44. But basically, the main takeaways are going to be just be careful. If you see cones, if you see lights, slow down. Be careful if you're around runners and driving. Embark will also have detours today, and for a full map and more, you can visit news9.com or of course use the Marathon app. Robin and Lacey, back out to you.
All right, Hannah, thanks so much. Right now we are in observance of the 168 seconds of silence before the race begins.
And you just heard 168 seconds of silence observed in downtown Oklahoma City. That is why this Memorial Marathon exists, to remember the 168 lives lost in the Oklahoma City bombing. It's why we run. It is why this marathon is so important, probably the most important
Really in the country.
in the country. Absolutely.
Let's listen into the national anthem right now.
Light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Was performed by the group Wild and Sweet. They're actually participating in the marathon today too.
And that will get the runners ready to run. And we say thank you to the almost 19,000 runners who have come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. You're watching our special coverage of the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. Keep it here. Much more to come on News 9. Welcome back. Our coverage of the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon Run to Remember continues, and we are live in downtown Oklahoma City.
Got a couple of announcements happening behind us. 7 minutes to race time. Let's send it to Carl and Amanda. Hey, guys.
Hi, Robin and Lacey. We are so excited. It is so evident that this is so much more than just a race.
Yeah, Mayor David Holt saying it's the most meaningful marathon in the nation.
Mark Bravo joins us right now. He's going to be talking throughout this broadcast. He is a running expert.
Good morning to you guys. So glad you're a part of things. This is the best day in Oklahoma City every year, and some compelling races as well may unfold in the half and full.
Race day, let me get your thoughts. What do you think?
18,800 plus, the best numbers since the pandemic. People are back. They're running together, and you will see their exuberance at that on the roads all day. The crowds in Oklahoma City make it a destination race in America every year now. From small means, it has come 2,500 year one or so to where we are today, and folks have literally been training for this thing 12 months. It has created a wellness initiative in Oklahoma, wanting to be part of this, and today it all culminates.
Oh, the crowd. We are getting so excited. We want to send it back out to Robin and Lacey now at the start line because we are just minutes away from the start.
Yes. Amanda and Carl, they are telling all of the wheelchair participants and hand crake athletes to get ready because it's about 90 seconds away from that portion of the start.
Oh my gosh, it is so exciting. And I mean, when you see the thousands of people who are lined up down here getting ready to go for the wheelchair race or the marathon or half marathon, I mean, it is just electrifying. And there they are. They are getting ready to begin the wheelchair race in just really about 30 seconds or so. This has run perfectly on time. This is a bucket list for so many people to take part in the Oklahoma City Marathon.
You just saw Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt running right past us. And Governor, there's Governor Kevin Stitt. Hey,
to
good
see you,
morning.
Governor.
Can you step on real
Come on in,
quick?
Governor, real
We've got
quick.
the governor coming by to say
Thanks for
hi as we
joining
get
us.
ready
Just-
for
yeah.
the wheelchair. Governor,
Governor,
we'll talk to you in just a second. We got to do the wheelchair start. Here's the countdown.
This is the
2. There you go.
and they're off.
There it goes. Woo! It's a beautiful day.
It's pretty exciting.
Oh, it is. It's
Here
a
we
beautiful day for
go.
sure. There they go.
Hey!
Cheering
Oh,
for them
it's
all.
awesome.
And we are underway, the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
Look how
And
many people there are. That shot is
It is a
just
beautiful
incredible.
Oh, these people have trained so long and hard for it. And as we stay on here, Governor Kevin Stitt is a part of the big relay with your family
Yeah.
this year. That's going to be very special, Governor. What's your thoughts as you see all
Well,
the people here?
man, it's just the atmosphere is unbelievable out here. It happens every April, just inviting everybody to come do a relay race next year. And I do this Can You Beat the Governor challenge.
I want that T-shirt, Governor.
I know. This year I've got one of my daughters. I've got a son running. I've got lieutenant governors on my team, and then my son-in-law is running. So
Wow, family affair.
family affair,
I love
yeah.
that.
Who's doing the longest length of it?
My son-in-law. I gave him the 7-miler.
I love that. How exciting is it to see this?
Oh, man. I mean, like 20,000 people out here running, plus all the volunteers. I mean, it's just a great event for Oklahoma. It's just so fun.
Look at the sea of people here that have come from every state.
Yeah.
And from 17 countries, Governor, bringing family and friends and supporters. I mean, Oklahoma City really does set a standard even when it comes to running.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the best races in the country for the best state in the country.
Yes.
And I better go stretch. I'm in this, but
Are
I'm not
you
going
in this? Oh my
I'm
gosh,
in the
Governor.
first leg.
Oh, well, okay. Thanks for coming.
Go stretch. Go
All right.
stretch. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you, thank you, thank
If
you.
you beat the governor on the relay, you get a T-shirt and maybe even a dinner from you too, huh?
Maybe so,
All right,
yeah.
sounds
All right,
good.
see y'all.
Governor Stitt,
Bye-bye.
good
Thanks,
luck.
Governor.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
Good luck. I love that he gave his son-in-law the 7-mile stretch of that race. There you go.
Oh, and here we go. I mean, these are some elite runners at the start of the Oklahoma City Marathon and Half Marathon. They line up in order of their abilities. So the people you see at the start here, these are very serious runners, and all these runners, as we look down Harvey, have been training for months and weeks, preparing for this moment today. And the runners we've talked to, they all say they're nervous, but you've got to trust the training,
Yes,
Lacey.
yes. It's a good nervous is what they said. Excitement, hoping they do well, knowing that it's just such an important race, but really all that matters is you're here, you're participating, you're living in the moment, and that's what it's all about. We are celebrating life. This is a party,
Yes.
really. They want it to be a happy event, and we all have a reason why we run, but it's really to enjoy being together, the fellowship on this beautiful Sunday morning.
The 2-minute warning has been given. If I could put my mom hat on for just a moment.
Go for it.
My 23-year-old son is somewhere in that crowd. I said, well, how will I know you, Kate? He said, Mom, I've got neon socks on. I said, well, I'm going to be looking for you,
Come on,
Kate.
neon socks.
He'll be running the half
I love
marathon, and I've actually run and experienced the half marathon before. There is nothing harder, more. It'll stretch you more than you've ever been stretched. It'll take you deeper than you've ever wanted to go, and the reward of it is really that you can accomplish something when your body and your mind are sometimes pulling apart from each other or on the same page. It really is thrilling to be a part of this, and we're about 1 minute out.
1
Lace.
minute out. You know, so many of the runners say when you pass those banners that have one of the victims of the bombing on it, you dig deep and you realize that you have life to celebrate, and you are running in honor and in memory of so many folks who cannot be here today. And it does something, it spurs you on.
It
We are
does.
just so proud of every person here. It's going to take a long time for everyone to get across the start line to even start this race, because look at these shots from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Nearly 20,000 people between the runners and the organizers and the bike guides and the race guides. There's just so many people out here.
Oh, just thrilling for sure. OKC, and to all the runners, we are so proud of you as we get ready to run the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. We say thank you in advance to all these people, and here is the countdown for the runners to begin.
Let's listen in and then cheer like crazy. Here we go for the 2023 Memorial Marathon.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go.
Oh, thank you, David, for getting us going. We are underway here today.
You are looking
Go
at
get him, McKaylee.
thousands of people
Go
starting
get
at
him,
the
Kay.
start
Go get him,
line. The folks at the very back, it's going to take a while because there's so many people to push through as they run right past us at Northwest 5th and Harvey, just outside the 903 gate of time when everything changed all those years ago. Today we celebrate life. I love all the colors and all the smiles. It's electrifying down here, Robin.
Oh, this is just a beautiful sight to see, and look at all of the runners. It'll take probably about 15 minutes for all these runners to get past the start line. They all have a barcode that will track their time from the moment that they start to the moment they cross the finish line and get their medal, and personal victories for everyone just to be a part of this. Just awesome.
I love it.
It's so neat to see. Way to go, guys. So proud of them all.
It's just incredible to see. You know, it's amazing. The half marathon and the marathon sold out. They couldn't accept any more people. They set a limit for how many they're going to accept. And as you heard Carrie Watkins say earlier, at the last minute, folks rushed in and said, we want to participate. The weather looks great. We're going to do it. And so they reached their goal that they set for the race. This is a Boston Marathon qualifier. So you've got so many different people out here from all different walks of life, all running to remember. And it's just a beautiful sight to see.
It really is. And I know, as a person who has run this before, the hard work that goes into this moment right here. They've been running in every element of the weather to prepare for what it will be on race day, and it is just picture perfect. The wheelchair runners, there's part of the Ainsley Angels that we've told you about. They're just passing the Griffin Studios right near Main and Robinson, making that first turn, and boy, it is just such a sight to see as thousands of runners cross the starting line. And for many, this will be the first time they've ever run a half or a full marathon, and there's a nervous excitement going through their bodies right now. And I think in experiencing this, Lacey, you pretty much run the first 3 miles on adrenaline.
I think so too. You don't even realize 3 miles
You don't even
have
realize
passed.
it. It's just wonderful.
It's
and
incredible
you
to
see
see.
every walk of life. You see young, you see old, you see people who have been runners for life, people who have never run, and they all come here, converge on Oklahoma City. This is a special marathon, I think, because there's no prize money, Lacey. You know, the reward you get is running for someone, running for yourself, running for a purpose, and everyone will receive a medal at the end. But knowing that it is a run to remember Oklahoma City from 28 years ago to how far we've come today, and the celebration that you see, and we say thank you in advance to our city, because for these runners, the cheers that they will get on every part of this, these are some of the very fastest runners that we're watching right there, but the community support spurs these people on for all 26 miles.
There are folks all along the course that are literally just there to cheer people on, to say great job, keep going, thanks for being a part of this incredible event. And they are along all 26 miles. The Gorilla Hill, we'll check in with them later on. We've got Lisa Monahan, Colby Thielen up there. It's a party up there. You've got so many different neighborhoods, Mesta Park, up by Lake Hefner, and you will have people cheering you along every step of the way.
Well, our Mark Bravo, who is an expert in running himself, he will be doing the commentating on how these runners are doing, how are they feeling as they get into the throes of past 7 miles, 10 miles, on to 19, 20 miles. And, you know, the times of what we'll see these runners do, I mean, it will blow your mind, because by the time we get from here, everyone's starting, it'll just take about 30 or 45 minutes for some folks to finish the half marathon, Lacey.
Wow.
I mean, so it'll
unbelievable pacing.
It really will be. And there are runners here who they come back every year. The young man that won the 5K yesterday is competing in the half marathon today.
Goodness, there's so many people that do an event on Saturday and then come back out for either the half or the full today. It's the Why We Run weekend series. They had more than 500 people doing the 5K yesterday and then coming back today. It's incredible. Guys, we are 5.5 minutes in, and we still have thousands of more people that need to cross the starting line. It is just electric. Right now, we want to send it to Carl Torp and Amanda Taylor. Hey, guys! We're waving at runners down here. Guys, if you can hear us, take it away.
Oh, I got to see my son. That just melted my heart today, Carl and Amanda. Oh, I'm going to start crying.
Robin and Lacey, thank you. It's been so much fun to see these shots from high above, down below, and to see all the bobbing and moving going on there as folks finally get through that start line there. It's a lot of fun.
You can feel the excitement,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. Our running expert, Mark Bravo, joining us now. So we're still seeing a lot of runners still trying to get up to that starting line. So for people not as familiar with it, how does that exactly work?
These runners know not to worry about when they cross the line. They want it clear because they want a safe start, don't want any legs tangled, because their official time, of course, does not begin until they cross that mat at the start line. So if they're aiming for a particular time, it doesn't hinder them to be 7 minutes back. We may have humanity coming through the start line, streaming through for some 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, because of the enormity of this race.
How do we line up in the starting line? Is it, you know, if you're running, like, let's say an 8-minute mile, where do you put yourself? 9-minute mile, where do you go? You look for those pacers, or you just kind of, you know, try to do it by eyeball there?
What we say in the running world, and what I try to remind folks, I get to announce a lot of races, is remember, runners and walkers observe the honor code. So you basically know what you can do, so line up accordingly. It doesn't do any good if you are holding back faster runners or if you are being held back, so you pretty well know where to be. And the race organizers, there are sometimes signs, sometimes vocally will say, if you can run a sub 6 minute mile, we want you up here.
Yeah.
Did you start on the front row yesterday in the 5K, Carl?
I did not. I am not a sub 6 minute mile. But Mark, I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
He didn't want to get run over. But
Never
yes,
know.
we are very much involved as a station here. I mean, everybody from News 9 was so excited to work with this. You and your son ran yesterday in the 5K.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think it's kind of a fast course. I mean, at least the 5K was, and the wind, the weather was cooperating, so it was kind of touch and go a little bit early on, just if the weather was going to cooperate, which it did. So it was wonderful. It was a lot of fun going through, getting pushed by a north wind. Maybe you call it a breeze, I don't know, but it was fun, and to finish right here at Scissortail Park as well. And my son, he did great. I think halfway in, he's like, okay, this is long.
A 5K for an 8-year-old is impressive, no doubt about it. And still runners pouring out of the start line. What an amazing, beautiful shot. We saw Rumble a few minutes ago. And so this is kind of one of the great things about this race is it really is a scenic tour throughout our city. They are going to go through 25 different neighborhoods all throughout Oklahoma City, the Village, and Nichols Hills. And they're going to get to experience really the sights and sounds of all there is to offer.
And I think there's just so much neighborhood pride, too. When you know that this is coming through your neighborhood where you live, you're out. You're not sleeping in. And in some cases with Gorilla Hill, you're throwing a party that's been going on since last night. So, no, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think the neighborhoods are what make this course so unique as far as, and I don't know, I know that there's other marathons out there that'll take you on like long stretches of a highway or whatever it is, but here I think the neighborhoods make it so much more special.
The neighborhoods set it apart. It's really an inclusive race. You have walkers, runners, and the crowds out there. It's an all-day party for them, and they show that excitement whether you are the leaders or last back of the packers. And folks sometimes wonder, what if I finish last? They're leery of coming out for the first time. I said, you're probably not going to finish last. If you do, arguably you'll be cheered more so than the winners. And we call it all abilities, all athletes. And I think Oklahoma City has that inclusive trait as much so as any race in America.
It's beautiful to see. It really is. And we saw it with just the start of the race, the wheelchair race. And you saw some of them in the pink wheelchairs, the Ainsley's Angels. I had a chance to meet one of them, Elizabeth, Team Elizabeth, as she's known as. And she just said she never thought that this would even be possible to be able to be in a race like this. And so what they do is they pair somebody who can run with somebody who has a special need. And then they're able to do this marathon. It's incredible.
They get that experience of being an athlete in the chair where they wouldn't otherwise be able to experience. We have one duo, Team Hoyt, Oklahoma, father, son. Dr. Eric Heine, a professor at OCU of music, his son Stephen. They run a lot of races here, doing his first marathon here. He usually doesn't go marathon distance. And to see Stephen's outright exuberance when he comes through, you are making a life, and the crowd gets behind them, and you see what it's all about, how very fortunate we are to be out here. And some runners have told me they were about to bag the race. You know, never know about the weather in Oklahoma City, and the wind was standing them straight up. And they thought, how lucky we are to be able to hurt this much. They saw the banners. And they are right.
So we're going to get to more on that because those banners, that's something to see. But we have crews out that we want to check in with.
We want to check in with the lead runners here. We have David Payne, who is tracking them, and he's in a truck ahead of them. And his joke is that he doesn't want to be caught today by those lead runners. David, how's it going out there?
Guys, you know, it's going great. And, you know, when I was asked, hey, you're going to be a chaser today, I was like, sweet, we're chasing storms. Even better, right? We're going to be, like you said, chasing the male runner. We're at 23rd Street and Broadway. We're about 5 miles in, so they'll be here in about 10 minutes or so, give or take. Mark has more on that. But behind me, it's all blocked off, ready to go. We're ready to go. We're going to basically be tracking the lead male runner from start to finish when he or they get to this point, and then they'll start to separate eventually, right? The weather, you can't get any better than this. We have a light north breeze. We're in the 40s. The weather's great. It's chilly out here. Runners love the cold. So, again, we're excited. We're fired up. And, again, we're surrounded by police officers here. So we're having a great time down here. And we're going to do the whole trail and just have a great time today. But weather looks great. Lacey Swope, she's going to be doing the same thing I'm doing. But she's going to be chasing the female runner. Lacey, take it away.
Oh, it's so exciting out here, David. Right now, the lead wheelchair racers are just passing us, just made it to our location, 23rd and Broadway. The sun just came up a couple of minutes ago. It's gorgeous. I'm out here having to dance around to keep myself warm. Perfect temperatures for these athletes out here this morning. And I've been tracking the lead female runner. She's a smidge behind the lead male runner, hasn't made it to this location yet. We're at about mile marker 5 for the marathon runners. And they've been making a pace at about 5-minute miles, so already have gone over 2.5 miles since the beginning of this race. And here come the lead wheelchair racers now, making their way down the hill from the Capitol. As soon as that marathon runner, the female runner, gets here, we're going to hop in the truck and we'll be tracking her. And I know that will kind of change throughout the day, so we'll bring you those live updates. So excited to be out here. This is my first time experiencing the Memorial Marathon. There are folks lining 23rd Street as I look off towards the west, ready to cheer on these racers as well. Back to you guys, the desk.
this has been kind of fun for us because we're seeing one of the cyclists, one of the pace-setting cyclists that gets in front of the lead runners. He's telling us how to keep track of the elite men and elite female athlete there by tape on the helmet. So
it's a little different. So we can actually see it from the chopper. When our chopper's up, they see a different color reflective tape, and that's how they know on who's in the full or the half or the relay.
David Rudkin, who heads that group up, does a great job, and he's got us all lined out, ready for action.
So as we look at this shot, does this mean that we're getting close to the end of the runners coming through that starting corral?
Right now, I can't tell. We're 15 minutes in virtually, as you see. I feel like we're going to go 20, 22 minutes, but now you're seeing them, and you're going to see a few more stream through after everyone you see now, just getting to the line, and that's allowed. They want to turn that start line over so we can start preparing for the finish, because remember, we will have half marathon finishers under 70 minutes, an hour 10. That's 13.1 miles, 70 minutes, just over 5-minute pace per mile.
And Mark, throughout these next couple of hours, we're going to talk more about that and more about how this all works. But like I said, we do have our crews spread all throughout Oklahoma City.
We have our Tevis Hillis, and I believe Tevis is right in front of the News 9 building, the news station. So we're excited to be providing these shots for the first time, on the course for the first time, and doing this broadcast the first time. Let's send it out to Tevis Hillis as those runners go by.
Carl, it's amazing that we can say we can just open up our building and be right by all the runners. Take a look as everyone goes by. We have everyone out here cheering. We're cheering on the runners as they go by. This has been non-stop for the past 15 minutes. It's amazing to see the Oklahoma Standard in true form. We're all joining together. We're all cheering each other on. Just look at the excitement. We have signs. We have music. We have 34 News 9 members running here today. We've seen a few go by. We're also seeing more and more friends and family run by as well. It's so exciting. You can see everyone's fresh. Everyone's ready to go because we're right at the start. We're not even at mile 1 yet. So look, no one's sweating. No one's having a care in the world because they just started this. But just look, it looks like ants are coming all the way down Robinson, but it's all the mass of people that are participating right now. Let's see if we can get the crowd going one more time. Okay, guys, we're on air. We're on air. Let's smile and wave. Here we are. We'll send it back to you out there.
Wow.
Yeah, so right there, that person with the 9 on the back, that's Sam Roop, and he had a sign that said, "Let's go, Mark." Mark is someone he just met at the expo.
I love
and he said, I talked to him at the
There
expo.
you
I'm like,
go.
yeah, I'll get a sign for Mark. And if he doesn't go by it, I'm sure there's another Mark out there that will see it.
Hey, this is for you.
Maybe it's for me.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Mark Bravo, our running expert, joining us right here live as we are carrying the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, and just a few runners left across that start line.
Mark, are these like the smart veterans, the wily vets that know that we don't want to get out there with that early pace? We're just going to hang back a little bit, and then maybe we're passing more runners that way and kind of feeling more inspired doing the race that way?
These are every facet of humanity. It's that strategy. It's folks stuck in the bathroom. Yes. It's those who forgot they had to park their car. Race day, you want as few surprises as you can possibly have, and things still crop up. But, again, their official time doesn't start till they cross that line.
Their chip time.
A lot of them are running by the News 9 station there, and there's a beautiful shot as well. A lot of the runners are going to be running as soon as they pass our station. They're going to be circling around to the Paycom Center, the Thunder drum line going on. It's a really big deal out there. Let's go out to our Steve McGeehee. It's so fitting, Steve, that you are covering the race from the Thunderdome.
Even got my Thunder Blue on. This is incredible. How many competitors are racing? It seems like thousands and thousands. It started over 10 minutes ago, and they keep on coming. They're heading south on Robinson, taking a left and heading east into the sunrise on Reno. As we walk down Reno with the competitors here, we go to the right. We have the Thunder Girls on the right here. cheering everybody on. And of course, if you're talking thunder, you got to have Rumble. Rumble with the signs. He's offering water. What's it say here? You're going the wrong way. No, this is the right way. We'll go this way. You have the Thunder drummers here. Let's listen to the drummers real quick. We got fans here as well in front of the Paycom Center. When it comes to a race, you need support in the middle, in the start, and definitely at the ending. So this is incredible. And just let's go back to Robinson. Just this, they keep on coming. The competitors. Thousands it seems like. It's just an incredible scene here. A lot of fans showing up. We've been here since about 4:45 in the morning. That's when we saw our first competitor asking our photographer, Steven, where she can park the car. So this is incredible. I've had a chance to cover a lot of sporting events in my time in television, but this is my first ever marathon, and I am overwhelmed. This is just an incredible scene. They just keep on coming. Some are walking, running, jogging, it doesn't matter. They're just happy to be here. Carl and Amanda?
6. At exact same time.
Okay, they're running together.
Yeah. I don't know
Steve
who.
McGeehee for us out there, and how exciting it is to just see the crowd as they really haven't separated too far from the pack yet.
Yeah, but we do have some runners, the elite men, that they are kind of breaking off a little bit.
They got to the first spot where we have tracking. They go over a mat, and that records them. We've got S. Height. That's bib number 1593, crossing at 1557. And Micah Pierce, number 2. And then a couple of favorites, Ben Anderson and Matt Thompson. We'll tell you more about those guys, 3 and 4. Number 5, last year's half marathon winner, Al Mader. And then a couple of guys with the friendly rivalry you know about, Daniel Ramirez and Chris Copeland. Carl?
Yeah, and those two have a bet. So Copeland is, I believe he's a Continental guy, and Ramirez works for Devon Energy. So they've been trained together. They both are very fast marathoners, I think right around 240 pace. But they have the CEOs of both those companies now have a lunch bet because of those two. So it's just a lunch bet, not a big deal. But for one of those guys, he's going to really make the boss mad, right? Don't
want to be that guy.
Yeah,
bragging rights.
So anyway, Copeland, Ramirez, those are two to watch, and they're running just neck and neck. They train with each other. And I know there was talk that maybe Ramirez was not going to be 100% because he hurt himself doing jiu-jitsu like a week ago. So that's the kind of athlete that's running your 240 marathon, as the guy that's, when he's not running, doing jiu-jitsu.
That says a lot right there.
Yeah.
Say no more, Carl. So we've been showing you as these runners have been running toward the Thunderdome, the Paycom Center. Steve McGeehee's out there. So in between mile 1 and 2, that's where they kind of start going into Bricktown. Our Jordan Frimstead joins us live right now from the Bricktown area with how things are going there. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Amanda. Good morning. It is exciting out here. I will tell you, this is my first experience with this marathon. And, when they said 19,000 runners were going to be out here, they weren't kidding. They're taking up all of Mickey Mantle Drive right now. You see the main stretch of runners going through right now. It's just a positive energy, a hopeful energy, and really the message of this Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. I've just been so impressed with just the stories this week and really just that message of hope from something that happened, a long time ago that was very painful for this community. But, I spoke to a couple of grandparents who are going to be watching their 18-year-old grandson running today, and just the smile on their face, they just lit up. And we've got people here lined up along this leadoff stretch. I had to make a baseball reference there since we're on Mickey Mantle Drive, and everybody's just excited. You guys are doing great. And so, we've got a lot of excitement here in Bricktown today, and they've got a challenge here. I do want to show, I'm going to have Lex, my photographer, pivot around here, and he's going to show you the challenge that they have here this morning. They got to go up and over this bridge, and so no rest for the weary here on this Sunday morning. They're going to be working hard here through this first 2 miles up to 4th Street, where they'll take a right there. So, just an amazing event, just in my first experience getting to see this. And, I've just been so impressed with what this marathon means for Oklahoma City. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
It's also at the 2 mile mark.
It's early. Yeah. And a lot of folks, it's not as advertised. They sometimes even don't know about it, which is fine.
That is quite the hill that those runners are having to go up to, and probably their first big hill of the day.
Got to have hill training to see what you're all about, but sometimes the hill comes up that maybe if you didn't peruse the course before, you don't know about. And as you said, Carl, this hill easily rivals Gorilla Hill.
I think obviously bigger than Gorilla Hill, but to hit it at the 1 mile, 2 mile mark, I'd rather do that right now, right? I mean, this is
True.
all, everyone's having a fun time right now. You can see the smiles still out there. It's the grueling pain hasn't come, and hopefully it won't for the majority of runners here. But yeah, I'd want to hit this hill a little bit early, yeah.
And there is entertainment all along the way, as we heard from the Thunder drum line. And now that they're going up that hill, they're going to be entering the Deep Deuce area, and that's where they're going to hear some live jazz music, the home of jazz here in Oklahoma City right there. So they're going to have some entertainment along the way as well.
I think it's so much fun. Just, when I ran the 5K yesterday, I didn't have any music. And I always run with music. I didn't this time. And I did think it was fun just to kind of hear the people. And I don't know, I felt like, shoot, I can do this. What was my big holdup? Because it's always been like I have to have music to run. But there's so much along the course here to take in, especially the marathon course, the half marathon course, to really get you invigorated.
Much better on race day that you do it that way. You run with music if you want while you're getting ready for these things, but take it all in, especially a destination race like this. And yesterday, I actually ran a race for the first time, the senior marathon, and I think I survived it. My my friend who accompanied me, I didn't know we were going to be, for me, all out racing, and I don't do that anymore to speak of. But gratefully, the crowd helped me a lot. Saw a lot of friendly faces, as I know you did. But as you say, the half and full marathon course, that is where the multitudes come out. We were downtown yesterday. It was super. This is altogether another story today.
And if you are at home, we'll share with you here throughout this next hour where maybe you can go to cheer on some of these runners. We want to go out now to Jim Gardner, who's up in Bob Mills Sky News 9, giving us a great bird's eye view of this run and also spotting the leaders right now. Hi, Jim.
Good morning, Amanda. Yeah, this is coming up Lincoln. We're just crossing 10th Street with a large contingency of runners coming up here. But what a great day to be running. Light wind, light north wind, perfect temperature. And let me tell you, the lead runner almost outrun me. We're going to catch up with him later on, but these runners are really moving today. There should be some really good times, but you're just looking at the drove of runners here coming up, crossing right in front of OU Medical Center there. They should be coming around the Capitol here pretty soon. We'll give you that shot, but just a great day out here, man. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills Sky News 9. Back to you.
Jim Gardner, great shot from above. Look at the crowd. It's such a beautiful day out here too. I mentioned that if you want to track a runner, maybe you have a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, get the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon app. It's a new app for this year, so if you have the old one, delete that, get the new one, and then you can plug in just their name, and up will pop the time. And Mark, how does that work? Their bibs have some sort of chip in them?
Embedded. And as you cross the mats, they give us an update on the app. 5K, 10K, the times we gave you a few minutes ago, those were the 5K splits. And by the way, now that was 8 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, but in the women's race, Christy Coleman at the 5K mark, running just over 20 minutes, had a 1 minute lead over her next closest competitor. But yes, throughout the day, the technology is great. The team has done an unbelievable job creating this app. It is as comprehensive as any app I've seen from a marathon.
Christy, by the way, won the half marathon last year, and so she obviously is continuing with the full. And Amanda, I know you're using this app to track your husband, Nick. He's running his very first race. He's doing a half marathon, so he's never done like a 5K, a turkey trot, nothing like that. He's just going to go with the half marathon to begin with.
Here's the thing. So when we started talking about our News 9 coverage, I got so excited. So I started talking it up at the dinner table, and my kids are like, well, I want to do the race. So we went yesterday, and they did the kids' race, did a great job. And then my husband, he was like, okay. I've never even done a fun run in my life, but yeah, okay, I've started running since after COVID. You know, there was not a lot of things open, so you started running.
Wow.
And here he is out there today. I am so proud of him.
When I saw him, he was juiced up last night. He was ready for action. It was so great to see him.
He's been putting in the hours training too. It's, you know, I know, Mark, that we kind of talk about, like, as far as training goes, you never really hit that mark, right? You never really hit that. You're not, like, a half marathoner is not going to run 13 miles before today.
There is no need to do that. You also want, unless a seasoned marathoner, they've been there, and a half marathoner, but I always like my athletes to experience the longest distance they've ever run in a race. It gives you great momentum to know, I have just gone further, eclipsed anything I've ever done in my life. And so much of this sport is mental. We need things like that intermittently throughout the day.
I think when you watch these pictures too, it just kind of shows that what kind of an athlete you have to be a runner, and it's pretty much anyone could be a runner, right? It doesn't. There's no like shape to these athletes, young and old, big and small, and they're out there going at their own pace. They're walking. Some are going really fast, obviously, but that's kind of the glory of running, that anyone can do it. Anyone can get good at it.
That is the beauty part. Not only we all don't have the same runner's body, so to speak. We all don't have the same form. You can thrive doing it many different ways. Usually, unless you've got an issue with it, the best way to do it is what comes most naturally to you, whether it's a midfoot strike or a toe land or whatever. And the other thing is you can start any time in your life. And a great pursuit, great way to raise your game is what we refer to as the walk-run approach. Jeff Galloway, a former Olympian, began walking within his runs. It's a powerful way to get back to the sport. So many through COVID were unable to get themselves out. It's a great way to come back, even if you were a full-fledged runner, and then just move up. More important than any training plan you can get from any coach, in my opinion, is that you do it safely, not too much too fast, because more concerted weeks and months consecutively uninjured, that's what's going to give you dividends.
Absolutely. And speaking of non-runners, you know, we go all out here because we had a sign-making party last night at my house, and then, of course, I had to get the jumbo head of my husband, so we're going to be standing. I have these spread out throughout the course, and so we'll be cheering him on for sure.
And we're talking about this being a destination marathon, a destination event, and it's for your family. It's been a destination event. You have family coming in all over to be here,
Dad
see you,
flew from Indiana,
see Nick.
sister flew in from Utah, I have family from Missouri, Arkansas, and that's what I love about this race is it is really so much more than a run. It is obviously about remembering the 168 lives lost, but it's also about celebrating a community come together. I think for so many people coming down here, they are either learning about or reminded about what we did so well 28 years ago. And that is that we came together as a community, and that we
absolutely
the Oklahoma Standard was developed. And so it is just beautiful to be a part of that.
This is a race that started in 2001 with less than 5,000 people, and here we are, almost 20,000. The record, I think, was about 25,000 a few years back. But
yes.
It's so we're here with the elite runners here, and we have a conversation going on. Maybe is that pretty uncommon there when you see, like? I know when people are doing marathons, they like to do it with someone they can talk to, but when you're an elite runner trying to win the thing, there's not much what's the strategy there?
It can be all over the board. I used to talk to a lot of folks, and I was not elite, but when I ran marathons, and that stopped through my last maybe dozen, maybe because I wasn't capable of talking anymore while I was running. But you see everything, and sometimes that camaraderie goes on at the very top of the list.
Do we think this is going to be a fast day? Like, you know, the weather's cooperating. I know that there are people that have kind of circled that PR. They think today is the day they have that personal record. Are conditions favorable to that?
They very much are. It's often about the wind and, of course, the course at times. These athletes, especially if they're pointing toward particular standards, they try to pick their races because of the course, because of convenience and such. But Oklahoma City's a little different in that way because as much as any race I know of, many want to make Oklahoma City their first And so a lot of folks do. Now, the difference here is they come back time and time again, and they come back often because of the efficiency of the race. And so the team, the 2,000 plus volunteers, the race committee, the crowd around them, that is what brings folks back, and why after 3 years this race was voted by Runner's World Magazine one of the top 12 must-run marathons in the world.
And that says so much.
Christy Coleman there leading the women's.
That's 37-year-old Christy Coleman. I had a chance to talk to her the other day, and I asked her why she run. And I think she just was half joking when she said, I have 3 young boys. I think they're all under the age of 10. So she didn't need to say anymore. It gives her a little break. But
and
she is amazing.
Christy won the half last year, and she's doing really well already in this race. She's got a pretty good lead.
What I thought was interesting, too, Mark, is that she was going to do the half marathon, but then in the last week, she changed her mind, and she said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do the full.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's already well accomplished, but she's got some training partners to keep her very honest. All 3 of these young ladies have young children, so their running, at least for a time, has changed a little bit. She trains with Kristen Ratcliffe, the 2018 marathon winner, with Kat Lyle, none other than 4-time Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon winner. So they're keeping her honest, and all of those folks hold a high standard, but they're all in different places in their running career for the moment. Kat Lyle not running, Kristen Ratcliffe, or Kat may be in a relay. Kristen today is coming back after just having twins and running the half marathon.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's incredible
I met the twins yesterday. They're certainly nowhere near a year old.
Well, I mean, that's amazing, though, that I know she's an elite runner, but that is amazing that on a whim goes, you know what? I think I can do the full.
Christy,
yeah. I just, you know, I don't need the half this year. I'll do the full. Why not? Let's give it a go.
And she's no rookie. She's got a 2:51 under her belt in the marathon, and she won last year's half in a time of 1 hour 17 minutes, right at the course record.
And so you see on these bibs here, that's going to tell you what the competitors are running. Yellow bib, that's a half, and the green bib, that's the full marathon there. So while you see these 2 runners together here, they are not necessarily running the same race. So maybe that's why there's some kind of conversation.
Indeed.
That's a great point, Carl. And the half will split away from the full marathon at Northwest 50th Street, and the full will go ahead, or excuse me, the half will go ahead and keep going west on Northwest 50th, where the full will keep going up on Northwestern there and continue on. And then they will meet up once again around the Asian District to finish the race together. So it's really great. Everybody gets to run the same finish line as they cross.
And I always think of this as Klassen being probably the toughest part on the course. Just it comes late for both the half marathoners and the full marathoners. And I feel like if you are out there trying to figure out where I could go watch, there are obviously the Gorilla Hills and places like that are a lot of fun. But Klassen, I think, is where you can really go and help these people along, because it is the final stretch. They hit that proverbial wall, and then they got to hit that long stretch on Klassen, you know. So they could use any kind of support they could get, right?
That mile 20, it's
yes. Klassen's got a reputation. What has changed is from early years, now we were talking, and you virtually have action going on every block on Klassen. So, yes, you got plenty of party atmosphere. You can really help them, and you might just see the race unfolding, moves being made.
Ooh, yes. The Asian District is there if you're looking for a place to go. They have lion dancers there, the lion drum line, so it's a lot of fun to watch. If you're looking for some other places to go and cheer on some of these runners, if you do get the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon app, it has a running course on it, so you can just look at it and then pick what's close to you.
Yeah, absolutely. What you talk about strategy, Mark, and I just kind of want to know a little bit more. Like, when do we look for runners to make their move?
It depends. I'll tell you about one of the classic marathons ever run. One of our visiting legends this weekend, you all met her, Joan Benoit Samuelson, ran the very first Olympic women's marathon. That was Los Angeles. Women were not allowed to run the full marathon in the Olympics until 1984. Well, Joni was coming off an injury just before the trials, which you have to compete, finish top 3 to get in. So at mile 2, inarguably or undoubtedly the best women's field ever assembled, she took off from the pack. The commentators were saying this is very risky. For one thing, you're taking all the workload on yourself instead of sharing it. Even if you want to beat the competitor next to you, you sort of share the load if you switch off leading or are side by side. She was solo, 24 miles, no one ever touched her. So there's all sorts of strategy. Usually you watch a race unfold, and whether it's a time you're going for or if in the Olympics generally it's not the time but the win, you are a little more conservative, something like the Olympics. You take the strategy as per what you're going after.
Okay. Mark,
As
thank
we
you.
are watching the lead male runners right there, still the 2 that we've been tracking all along with the full and the half marathon right there. Each of them are running the other ones, and they still have the lead. But we have seen in marathons and half marathons past, Mark, where at the last moment you have somebody that you weren't really tracking, and then they come around.
Very famous Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon 2005. Jerry Faulkner, one of our invited guests, legends. Jerry's in Oklahoma, now living in New York City, an Adidas athlete and pursuing triathlon also. Well, Jerry led the race in his second marathon ever the entire day. And this race used to finish, as you know, on Broadway. You turned on Broadway at 12th. It finished between 5th and 6th. Well, with about 400 meters to go, a young man who then later became the OCU head coach, Matt Aguero, when he turned on to Broadway, a police officer couldn't see his number. They were doing their job, said, "We got a marathon going on." He gets his number out. "I'm in it."
Uh-huh.
He pursued, caught Jerry with 400 meters to go out of nowhere, and won the race. And you're talking about some photo finishes, a couple involving Jenny Grafe and a couple with the 4-time winner, Kat Lyle. So you can have suspense any time. And to think, yes, over 26.2, it can boil down to a block or less.
When you have ideal conditions like today, and you have this kind of northerly breeze, so we're talking about Klassen being a tough spot. At least they're going to have the wind a little bit. Are you thinking these runners are making their move long before that, the full marathoners, or when do you think that they're going to be, knowing what you know about these runners?
Well, think about the cruise control approach. Less gas expended when you're level. Right now, they're still unfolding. It's very rare that someone, usually most rare, like Joan Benoit Samuelson in '84, takes it out at mile 2. So they are now trying to get their bearings, learn who their competition is, because they probably knew, but now Louise is stepping away to the other side of the camera. And he's running the half. Just in a quick side note, here's your marathoner, lead runner. But they are really just wanting to get comfortable. And most of them are running their own race.
You mentioned, so are you talking about drafting when you're talking about taking the lead there, kind of like a cyclist does? Like you're saying that if you have 2 at the top, one's going to get behind the other for a mile or 2, then they switch. The other one...
It's not literal drafting. It's more like taking the mental weight off each other a little bit, and especially if they're comrades. You know, you take it. But really in that situation, say a Ramirez-Copeland battle today, they're probably going to be aside each other and not one in front of the other. And drafting can be a thing. In certain races, you literally are not allowed to get right on someone's tail in that way. It's not like cycling in that way, but and it's not as physically a thing. But in running, it's more about sharing the load here.
Oh, okay.
We
got a lot to learn, don't we?
We do. And I know you said, too, sometimes it's not best to be the one in the front because you always feel like you're being chased. So sometimes it's better to be like that person right behind and then make your move. We have crews all over the city, in the village, in Nichols Hills, and one of the best and most popular spots to watch this race, Gorilla Hill.
That's right. We have Colby Thielen's out there along with Lisa Monahan, and We saw the elite runners going through now. I'm sure it's a bigger party right now. And we'll be checking in with Lisa and Colby in just a moment. But first, we do want to take this short break. You're watching the 23rd Annual Run to Remember. So Ben Anderson.
And welcome back to the 23rd Memorial Marathon Run to Remember. It is great to be with you. I'm Amanda Taylor along with Carl Torp and our running expert Mark Bravo. And it is not only a run, but it is an all-around fun race. It's a community event, really.
It is a celebration of life, and it is a party that is not just started this morning here in Oklahoma City. In some parts along the course, it may have started last night, like Gorilla Hill there, right around mile 7 in Crown Heights. We have our Colby Thielen and our Lisa Monahan joining us now live from Gorilla Hill as those runners begin to come in.
First runners came through here earlier. Boy, this place went bananas. It has been electric ever since. And Lisa, the party didn't just start then, did it?
This legendary location doesn't sleep. They were up all night. We got here, it was still dark. We're seeing people in banana suits. They've been in banana suits since last night. About 100 banana suits or so, wouldn't you say, Colby?
I'd say about that many, and they have about 6,000 pieces of banana cut up on the table for these runners as well. The arch that they're running under actually was put up last night as well. There's sponsors on it. Of course, doesn't pay for any of this. Actually, all of that goes to the National Memorial and Museum, and they said so far to date they've raised $200,000, which is cool.
That's fantastic. They also have about 2,000 bananas they're handing out to the runners here at Gorilla Hill. It's been really exciting to see all of the energy that people are bringing here.
Yeah, and we've seen also some, what we call lady fingers, the mini bananas. We're talking about the little children dressed up in banana suits, guys. It is a party out here. They know how to do it, and you should see the looks on these runners' faces as they're coming through here. You can tell it gives a little bit of a boost of energy right around mile 7. So they need it for this hill, and we'll give them a high five or two as they're coming by, right, Lisa?
It's so fun. They've got DJ D-Rock over here. It's been a party since about 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah. DJ D-Rock spinning it for us. It's loud. It's wild. It's getting people pumped up.
Latte love.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Got coffee. That's an important thing and a very important thing. We'll send it back to you guys, but we're going to be out here all morning partying up, giving out some high fives.
High fives.
Woo.
Energy out there. I absolutely love all the energy with them. Fantastic, guys.
It's great. And then, you have like 100 people in banana suits out there, and they really, this is like, they know this is a big responsibility for them. When they don that suit, it's not just about going out there and having a good time. It's about encouraging those runners and making sure that they are doing their best out there on the course, and know that those folks are, they have a lot of support. We do want to show you why there is a Gorilla Hill, how it got its name.
How it got its name, who is the mayor of Gorilla Hill? Take a look.
A beast uncaged.
Hang on.
Or rather, unrolled.
All right, Zach. Reach in there, pull that thing apart.
From the garage of Steve Cole.
It only comes out once or twice a year.
It comes out to much fanfare. It's not 800 pounds.
Yeah, all right.
But a heavy lift nonetheless.
Do it from this side. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pull that leg around that way. Pull it. You're in the belly of the beast. Okay. Every year you're like, how did we do that?
It's the weight of tradition. 7 miles in.
That's all right.
Raised on the corner of 40th and Chartel. And raised again. And again. Raised every race for the past 13 years.
It's not a burden. It's a privilege. And we're just really lucky to be part of it.
Since the first Memorial Marathon, Cole knew this house on the route had to be involved.
I would come out and yell at the runners and have fun and try to do my own water stop. It's really hard to fill like 4,000 Dixie cups with water with a hose.
But a new opportunity would present itself off of a highway in Edmond.
Seeing an inflatable gorilla in front of a car lot, and then the thing's clicking in my head and saying, we got to have that gorilla, and then we'll be Gorilla Hill right here. Yeah, that'll work.
Eventually, he bought his own gorilla. As for the hill,
we don't have steep hills in Oklahoma. So as Oklahoma goes, it's a hill.
And it's elevated even his expectations.
Yeah, it's kind of taken on a life of its own, but it's been totally worth it, and we just have a lot of fun with it.
Fun they like to share.
Well, yeah, we are known for having a good time.
A good time with more than just a 25-foot ape.
I have about 20 cases of bananas donated. Then we have like 75 to 100 people in banana suits. We're high-fiving runners. They're coming through. It's really colorful, really vibrant, really joyful.
A joyful day. And for Cole, an important day of remembrance.
There's a real sense of community, and that is part of what the Oklahoma Standard's about, I think. It's a bigger thing than sometimes we realize just living here. So awesome and so inspiring.
When competing in a marathon, ascending this hill might just be the inspiration runners need to uncage that beast within.
There is such a sense of community for sure out there. Another thing that's pretty incredible is last night some Boy Scouts went over there and they cut up the bananas in thirds so the bananas can go so much further today.
That's a good point right there. Good job for them. Hey, we're going to check in now with another reporter we have on the course. We have Mike Glover out there. He's at mile 9, so that's also right around the second relay exchange, I believe, for the full relay runners out there. Mike, how's it going?
Carl, it is going great. We're having a good time out here at relay station number 2, which is at Northwest 62nd and Chartel. We got a group of volunteers here. You guys having fun this morning? Yay! Yeah. Yes. So, Ron, you've been out here. You guys showed up about what time?
We're about 5:30.
5:30. And what are you providing for the runners today?
We're providing drinks and fruit and warming blankets for those who might need it, and pretzels and other snacks, and support.
Yeah, so what happens out here with the exchange?
Runners will advance to this location and match up with a teammate and exchange their timing chip, and the runner will leave from here and rejoin the flow of the marathon race.
Wow, so they're coming in, they're getting replenished, refreshed, and everything like that, and having a good time out here, right?
That's right, and Oklahoma City Rotary Club 29 is happy to provide this support at relay station number 2.
Awesome, thank you guys. I'll tell you what, we got Richard over here. Richard is here. We just had our first exchange, and Richard's over here. He's getting ready to take his exchange. So now, Richard, what do you do to stay ready and get warmed up?
To prepare, the runners will stretch out, hydrate, perhaps have a snack or use the restroom, and then stand in line and wait for their teammate to come to do that exchange of the timing chip.
Yeah, and you've been doing this for how long? How many years have you been doing this?
Our group is our 5th relay, so we have 3 of us that run all of this, and then we have newcomers and so on each time.
Yep. So you ready, Richard?
Ready to run and make it happen.
All righty, good. Well, we are at relay station number 2. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own News 9.
All right, Mike, we appreciate it. The relay is so much fun. It's just a great way to do this race and get a chance to see the entire thing, all 26.2 miles. I will say where Mike's at there, though, it is kind of tough because you got to find your runner that you have to exchange. And there's you think you have some strategy. You can follow on the app, but then you have all these runners going. That was me a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Alex Cameron's on our team. Bobby Mueller, who we'll hear from, was also on our team. But anyway, there's just like where's my guy? Where's my guy?
There's a lot more that runners have to consider.
There's a lot of runners that are coming in there, and you don't recognize them right away.
Like 474 other people there waiting for their partner. You forget. You think, I'll see my buddy. It's all good.
That's how many teams, relay teams there are. You know what? We are getting so much closer now to having a half marathon winner. Mark Bravo, when do we expect some people to cross the finish line?
Well, Andrew Leahy has the lead, and he stretched it a bit, something over a minute, and I felt was the favorite. We know him well. He finished second in the half last year, and roughly 68, 69 minutes. He's got a personal best of 67. So does Jerry Faulkner, but Andrew came in a little more prime for this half. I think Andrew could go 68, 69 as you see him right now on the screen.
Okay, so there's our leader in the half right there, Andrew. And then I think before that we saw Ben Anderson, who's our leader in the full men's side.
In the full. And Ben's got a 2:23 to his credit in the full marathon. That would put him within a minute of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon record. We'll see what kind of shape he's in. I know it's good. They told me that he's out of the University of Iowa. He came to OKC end of 19, and Ben is well-known road racing circles.
And what does it tell you, Mark, when you look at the person who is behind Andrew, and it looks like he is about a minute behind? Am I looking at that correctly?
Yes, yes. And at this point, when you're talking about maybe a dozen minutes left in the race, that's a sizable lead. Anything can happen, but Andrew runs out of OK Runner and Scissor Tail Running is going to be solid. The number 2 runner is going to have to make a move, in my opinion. I think Andrew, he's certainly ready for this kind of time. He's come off a recent injury, but this was going to be his litmus test race. He wants it badly. He's not ever run at OKC. I don't see anything changing in his gait, and I think he's in good shape. We're probably just 2 miles out.
How tough is that for these elite runners to just be training all this time, and then there's an injury that pops up kind of, I don't know, last second, or maybe a couple weeks out? I mean, how do you kind of mentally prepare yourself for, like, maybe I don't get a chance to run, or I can't train for a couple weeks, and I'm just go into this thing and see if I have it on race day?
It's seasoning. It's not only tough, but it's basically through any semblance of the career an inevitability. They know it. It's part of the battle and the bargain here. But they're also equipped. They do a lot of studying. They know how to tend to injuries. Andrew is one of the most diligent at doing his own PT preparation. So much so, Carl, as with many of these runners, they don't get out of bed like some of us and try to get out there. I don't do this anymore. I'm not capable of just getting right to the roads. I need a couple of hours to make sure everything's attached. But in their case, they may spend 30-plus minutes before they take to the road at all with their stretching, and then post-race stretching. That is something they have to commit to if they really want to be on this level.
Yeah, I would need daily affirmation for like an hour before I went out on a long run like this, for sure. Hey, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and daggone it, people like you. Just in the mirror telling myself that.
All of the runners, it doesn't matter if you're in the half marathon or the full marathon, you're going to be running down Classen past the Asian district, and that's where we find News 9's Bobby Miller with the party that's going on there. Hi, Bobby. Well, we heard the crowd, right?
Yeah, we did. Real quick.
We got to hear Bobby. We'll check back in with her in just a moment. But yeah, so the runners are all. Oh, Bobby,
they don't
go
have
ahead.
me.
We hear you now. Yes, we do have you now.
You have me? Okay, great. Okay, looky here. These are half marathon runners here at mile 10 in the Asian district, Northwest 24th and Classen. And yes, the party, you could say, has started. We are so excited. We've seen about 20 runners so far. So yeah, they're clocking about a 5-minute mile or less. These guys are fast. And this is so exciting because they know how to do the party out here. They do it with donuts. I got to show you guys this. These are called mochi nuts. They are made, I'm going to pull them up for you, with rice flour. This is unbelievable. These donuts are half the calories, say what, of regular donuts, because they're made with rice flour. And I want to introduce you to Cornel. Cornel ran the senior marathon for the first time yesterday. Come on in here. And he said it went very well. Tell me why you're out here at the Asian District today.
And today, I feel this is a great occasion to get out and root those on that are getting out there supporting this awesome cause. Sorry for like a sad occasion, but it's still, like we remember in a way that, we know that Oklahoma, is a really great state in supporting our survivors and those who went through that tragic event.
Thank you, Cornel, so much for being with us today. And you said your run went well yesterday, so thanks for coming back out today to cheer everybody on. You deserve a donut. It's only half the calories with that rice flour. We're having a great time out here. There will be dancers and music coming up as this party pumps up. Here comes yet another runner. So please check back in with us later, you guys. From the Asian District, I'm Bobby Miller for News 9.
The heart of the city right there.
Race flour donuts, that could be my breakfast of champions. Mark, if you say it's okay for runners to do that, I say, why not, right?
Of course. You got to have a reward.
You got to sugar up, I tell you that, for sure.
It also helps bring awareness to the district as well. So that's what a lot of these different areas are doing, is that some people who maybe never went through there, they're getting a chance to see the sights and the sounds of those areas as well.
And you know what? Other awareness is brought here. We're focusing, of course, on the leaders, but as you mentioned before, Amanda, it's so much more than a race here. And everybody out here has a story of how they got to this line. They have a pursuit that is near and dear to them. They have breakthroughs that have occurred that this race has been front and center toward helping them happen. And we celebrate the entire race, the committee, all the volunteers, all of us. We celebrate everybody who's out here. They're all champions. They will all have the victory forever. And getting to the line was the first victory. Today, the icing on the cake.
How rewarding for you, Mark, to see this evolve into something that started out with 5,000 people to now a race that's being written about in runner's world. It's known nationally. We mentioned before it's a top 10 destination marathon. What's that like for you personally to see that?
It's tremendous for me. This is my favorite initiative that I'm a part of. Honored to be in whatever facet a part of it, and glad from the start. I thought I'd want to run it every year. This is too much fun. I enjoy it too much. But to your point, I don't think that anyone from Kerry Watkins to the two founders of the race, Thomas Hill, Chet Collier, who brought the idea to Kerry Watkins, it really was the first joint partnership that the Memorial and Museum ever accepted from an outside source to what it is today. No one could fathom that. And the impact, as is well noted, it's by far the biggest fundraiser for the Memorial and Museum.
Right, and I think that's a misconception. Some people think that the museum and the memorial gets funding from the federal government, the state government, local. No, it's all of these donations, all the private fundraising, and so this is their biggest fundraiser. You will not find prize money with this race, which I think kind of sets it apart. A lot of these big races of this caliber, the runners, they come here because they get prize money. No, here they come here because it's raising money for the memorial, and it's great to be a part of this.
It really is. And you get also legends come in, the race brings in from the annals of the sport. Bill Rogers, 4-time New York City, Boston winner. Joan Benoit Samuelson, literally the grande dame of distance running, the most decorated female runner in history, you could say. Dick Beardsley. Marco Cicchetto was here. Marco with the world record with 2 prosthetics in the marathon. 2 hours, 35 minutes running on 2 prosthetics. Ran the 5K yesterday. And people want to be a part of it, whether to run, because these are some quality times. And the most elite athletes, not to mention those of us who are mortals, we can only do so many of these, whether it be half or full physically. And normally the elites would focus on races. They could garner some prize money, and they will come at times anyway because the premise is altogether different.
Yeah, you mentioned those names too. Those are elite runners of the past that get invited to marathons all over the country. They get invited to everything. Like, please come to our marathon, and they have to pick and choose which ones they come to. And they choose to be here every time.
They do indeed. Bill was in Boston. Joni was in Boston 13 days ago, and the travel schedule can get really rigorous. And Oklahoma City, they say it every year. It just feels different. And it really does to us. We who are natives, we know it. Even though it's evolved, there's that same backdrop always. It's a very poignant at the start, the 168 seconds atmosphere, poignant yet very uplifting.
And very powerful.
Yes. We're getting closer now to having a half marathon winner. About how much time do you think we are out from knowing who is going to cross this finish line behind us?
Any minute, we are going to see visibly the home stretch on Oklahoma City Boulevard, and I expect that to be Andrew Leahy, and we will see him come into focus.
In fact, let's just toss it up to Jim Gardner up in
Yes.
Bob Mills Sky News
Yeah.
9. Jim, give us an idea of where this lead runner is right now.
Well, he's on the home stretch now. He's probably less than, I would say, a half mile, quarter mile from the finish line. His stride has really picked up. We saw him have a really good pace, but when he got down here within a mile, he really started stretching it out here. He's going to be crossing here in just a few minutes. He's had a great stride the entire race. And as you know, Mark, we saw once when he first started, there was a chase car kind of cut him off and kind of broke his stride. And breaking a stride for a runner like this, it takes a minute for you to get that stride back and get into the rhythm here. But he got it back, and he's been running really good. And he should be coming up here just across Reno right now. So he's going to be crossing the finish line here shortly. Just a heck of a race here. Jim Gardner live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
I'd like to point out that David Payne's not driving the pace car. He is in a car in front of the driver's bench. He's not behind the wheel, so we can't blame that one on David.
And he is also following the lead marathon runner. So more to come from David and Lacey momentarily. But talk us through what we're looking at right now, Mark.
Great point, Jim Gardner. Sometimes that can get inside your head, but Andrew's seasoned. He got back on his horse, I think, very promptly. And you just want to make sure that a cutoff like that doesn't change something physically, like a quick stop.
So he's at 5 minutes, 17 seconds a mile.
Yeah.
So that's a good clip.
And looks like he may get in under 69 minutes, but this is what he was looking at, 68, 69. Andrew Leahy captures his first Oklahoma City victory with the half, coming off second place last year. He knows it's in the bag right now, and he ran, obviously, his race, because this is what he told me he wanted to run in an ideal world today as he was breaking back into hard racing after an injury. He is going to bust 69 minutes, I think. Yes, indeed.
This is impressive right here.
How incredible. We have a winner now in the men's half marathon.
Andrew Leahy, congratulations to him. He wanted to do 69 right there, just under 69.
There you are.
It looks like about 69.04. But
representing
wow,
Scissor Tail running and out of OK Runner, and he got it done, yes. Andrew has a 67-minute half marathon at Houston. An ultimate goal for him is the Olympic trials in the marathon. He's gone 2:22. You must run 2:18 to get in the trials. They continue to tighten those standards, but he's not done by any means.
So what do you know about him? I mean, what does this mean to him to be here today and to get this victory?
Well, I work with him about 4 days a week, so know plenty. And he's got a lot of support, and he's a very humble guy, full of humility. You couldn't find a better guy, and he is devout with the sport. As I mentioned before, his preparation rivals anybody I know. And what I call him, he's a gamer. He's wondered, there's Aaron Scherf coming in second place. Aaron has a half marathon victory at Oklahoma City, runs out of OK Runner in Norman. And so Andrew, at 31 years old, is still pursuing full-scale road racing on the highest level. Aaron has backed off of that particularly, but still, as you see, he's the real deal, going second place, running 70 minutes.
Not too shabby at all, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just amazing to see these athletes come in. I mean, tell us about that extra juice you feel as you're coming through the finish line there, your last mile and a half, whatever. I mean, what do you feel? Like, like, hey, I just, like, long stride. What are you thinking there?
Well, I wish I had ever experienced a half or full victory. You might be asking the wrong guy. However, in shorter races, 5K, 10K, It's something different. And my races were not on this kind of stage. And you could count them on a hand or two that I won. But what they are feeling is something very different when they know they've got the thing in the bag.
Yeah.
It's a relief. You loosen up, and you just want to take that in. There you go. Another half marathon finisher.
For everybody else running, we'll get to that, my thought, in just a second. But Robin Marsh, so she made her way from the start line down here to the finish line, and I know she's talking to the winners. Let's check in with her. Robin?
Well, Andrew, you celebrating. Andrew, congratulations. How are you feeling right now?
I feel pretty good, yeah. Didn't quite hit the time I was looking for, but I mean, when you're solo, there's just a whole nother level of just mental challenges. So the focus was just staying comfortable, relaxed the whole time. Last 3 miles were tough, but you know, just gotta 1 foot at a time.
I mean, I think that you hit it right on the 09 mark. So,
Yeah.
So it was 5:12, 5 minutes, 12 seconds per mile. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, that sounds like you're booking it.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, so like the goal was to kind of hit 68 flat, like, or low comfortably, because like that's what I'm trying to run through the half and a full. So I was out for a while after my last marathon. So this was just a big like fitness check to see where I was at. Like, I'm not discouraged at all. Like, I felt relatively pretty good, for sure. But yeah, like last 3 miles, especially going that pace and hitting all the hills, you end up feeling it in your legs for sure, regardless. So yeah.
Well, we are so proud of you. You're an Oklahoma City boy. Do you live in the metro?
Yeah, I live south side, south of the Wheeler district. I was raised in Ardmore, so yeah, I'm an Oklahoman.
There you go. How important is this marathon to run for you?
Ooh, am I bleeding? Is my nose bleeding?
No, I don't think so. I think it's your
Ooh.
finger, maybe. I said, yeah, you had a little on your shirt. I think you're okay.
Okay. Oh,
You're looking good on TV. I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Just how important this marathon and competing in the half is to you, being that it's Oklahoma City.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, it's the biggest marathon in the state, so obviously there's a really cool factor there. It's a good race overall. I'm hoping someday they'll cater to the elites a little bit better with like prize purses and encourage like faster times. But it's like a great race for community and just for the whole city to like get together. So.
Andrew Leahy, our half marathon champion here in Oklahoma City. Anything you want to say? Lots of people cheering you on today.
I just thank you to everyone who's supported me. OK Runner, Tim Thompson, Mark Bravo, my coach, Kyle McKinley. He's helped me out through a lot. And just like everyone else I didn't mention, everybody.
Well, Mark Bravo is right over there giving you the thumbs up, big guy. He's real proud of you. He's been speaking your praises today. Congratulations, Andrew.
It.
God bless you.
God
And
bless you
our
too.
half marathon men's winner, 5 minutes and about 12 seconds every mile for more than 13 miles. Shout out to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. That's our half winner right there, guys. And we're waiting on the half female to come, and I'll be speaking live with the marathon winners as well as they cross the finish line here on Oklahoma City Boulevard. Amanda, Carl.
Robin, nice job, and well done, Andrew. That was exciting to see. Hey, wouldn't that feel like to hear your name? A little shout out for Mark Bravo right here.
Yeah, so take off your analyst hat for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel right now?
Oh, I love it. You see elite athletes, and that's great stuff. And super. We see a lot of them. We had in the expo yesterday, Zuhair Talbi, first marathon, graduate from OCU, first marathon 13 days ago in Boston, finishes 5th, 1 spot ahead of arguably the best marathoner ever to live, Kipchoge. And so you love to see the elites. You really love it if they're humble, as Zuhair is, as Andrew is. That's where I like it. And I'm the old guy in the store, but this keeps us engaged, seeing both people coming in and staying engaged as a running community liaison. But then when you see these are high-end people, not just runners, which most of them are.
Hey, he mentioned something that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast about the mental challenge of doing this alone. Can you explain more about that? Like, what is that? I guess when someone's there, you feel like you're chasing someone, kind of thing.
It's both helping on the workload, keeping the pace honest. Often your pace dwindles, and as Andrew said, last 3 miles, you're going to hurt anyway. So we try to stay focused. They try to stay focused because they get that in. And still, the time often for these folks, the victory, sure, but the time is the big thing. They want to have that on their mantle, so they want to stay focused. And you see Ben there with the Red Coyote singlet on leading in the marathon. But those last 3 miles are going to hurt anyway. You try to garner all the mental capacity you can, keep the form intact, because you've been shooting for this for a while. Andrew put it on his slate a couple of months ago. As he said, it was his litmus test. So it's really cool that he came out great.
It is such an accomplishment for all of these runners. We have close to 19,000 runners running in all of the different memorial marathon races that they offer. And this is really cool. So we're out here at the finish line. It winds up in Scissortail Park, and that's where the Finish Line Festival is. And one really neat thing there is that they have a personal record bell. So if you break your personal record, you can go over and you can ring this bell. This bell has special meaning too. It came from a fire truck that responded out to the bombing. And then there's some granite, some stone around it, and that's from the original Murrah Federal Building. So so many just really personal touches and really meaningful touches as you go throughout this race and then even past the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, it means so much for these people who've been training for this, and then to be able just to ring the bell and take the picture in front of the bell. I mean, that's just extra special for all these athletes.
And so many folks for months have been running these very same miles, this course. I ran many, many miles on the course that they run, and so it's like home field for a lot of them. Not only will they compete with a lot of their friends, they'll see a lot of them alongside the course, and things like that personal best bell that has so much meaning even from April 19th, 1995. Everybody has a connection one way or another.
You mentioned the tough parts on the course. What are some of these tougher parts on the course? Is it just the end, or are there other parts that whether it's Gorilla Hill or somewhere else, that they kind of get a little tough for runners?
The way I would describe Oklahoma City is rolling, but nothing drastic in the way of hills. You think of hills first as the most challenging aspects, then you go to the wind. That's a crapshoot, as we've said today.
Yeah.
It is moderate by our standards. Some races, you worry about these the creations blowing over on you, and so toughest parts then go, I think, Carl, to where there are fewer spectators, because that really keeps you alive. The notable times during the Boston Marathon, Wellesley and all the young women there, the guys particularly note that, who are 3 deep in humanity. Now, we're not like that here, but the crowds have changed tremendously over the years, and now you don't find many of those dry spots. That's what people tell me when we go visit our race, promote our race, that in Oklahoma City the crowd rates with most any they've ever done.
That is a lot of fun, isn't it?
We love the crowd. Of course, this race is on a Sunday, and so you have about 40 churches participating in this race along the route as well. They have their gospel choirs coming out to sing to these runners, and then another church in Nichols Hills, they call it a tent revival. They decided we're just going to have our service outside, so they put up a tent. The preacher was joking, saying, I have my back to the runners, so every so often I see my congregants with their arms raised. He thinks I'm saying, like, praise the Lord, or like, yes, hallelujah. No, they're just waving to the runners there going by.
And I just like how these are ideas that kind of just, it's like this kind of grassroots effort, like, hey, what if we do this and see what happens? Then all of a sudden it's boom, that's tradition. It's like, well, we've got to do that again. That was a hit. People loved it, so we got to do that again.
And you've got some very quality half marathoners still coming through now. The race has only begun. This is under 81 minutes. So you are talking about 6:15 pace times 13 miles.
It's so impressive. So should we be seeing some of the wheelchair athletes coming through soon? Typically, there are 3 half marathon wheelchair athletes and 10 marathon wheelchair athletes. And these range from everything from the hand cranks, the hand cycle athletes, to there is one individual who actually uses his regular wheelchair, and he goes, Richard Vaughn. You're familiar with him from Arkansas.
He's a dear friend. In 2005, we were talking at the Little Rock Marathon, and he said, why should I run this race? We had never met. I talked about the mission. I said, everybody's a volunteer, and the majority still of us are volunteers who work on the race. It's tied to the bombing that created the mission, the Oklahoma Standard, from the federal building bombing. From that day, he vowed to try to not miss this race and never to do another race that wasn't for a mission, for a cause.
Yeah.
And as you said, Amanda, he told me, think of this. You're in a wheelchair. You haven't walked for decades. He said, I don't want any benefit that a runner doesn't have. So he's using a regular wheelchair, and I have come to know him very well, seen him at a lot of races. He wrote an incredible excerpt of Oklahoma City, of the Memorial Marathon, in my book that I had to include, and he has become such an ambassador and a dear friend of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. You'll see him today. He will be down the way. I'll be down on the line when he finishes, but the hand cranks, they will be quicker.
They're going to be moving for sure. Okay, so we'll be watching for them as well as they're making their way toward the finish line here.
And we also have our women's half marathon finisher. She's not in yet, but we're waiting on her. Kristen Vaughn right now has a lead, but that lead is, it looks like it's dwindled a tad bit, Mark. Are you looking at this?
It's very close.
Yeah.
However, Kristen Vaughn, otherwise known, her maiden name, Kristen Ratcliffe, whom we spoke of, the 2018 marathon winner, and she was coming back saying, I don't know what I'm going to be like, but I'm going to do the half. She has young twins. It would be great to see Kristen take the victory.
I do think that's a special part of racing, is that at some point you just have to say, hey, is it my day or not, and just kind of go after it and do the best you can, and hopefully things fall in your favor. So we'll see this women's race, though. It's a 20-second
It's close.
race.
Ariana Allen, second place, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And third place, 2 minutes back.
All right.
We have Woodward.
So we have Kristen Vaughn still in the lead here, and she's getting close and should be making her way down here.
She's on Sheridan Boulevard right now.
Okay. And so what do you think this holds up? Her I wonder if we can get a shot of
there she
both
is.
runners. Yeah. Okay, so there she is right now, coming in.
Is there anybody else around her at this moment, or is this hers?
I think number 2 is within a minute, but again, a minute at this point. Ariana Allen is a lot, and she's on the home stretch, and here she comes. Yeah, she's gonna bring this one home. Her second Oklahoma City victory, first in the half marathon, 2018 marathon winner.
Wow.
Kristen Ratcliffe then, Kristen Vaughn now is going to be your women's half marathon winner.
And she is coming in strong.
Yeah, she's
Look
got a
at
kick
that.
right now for sure. Look at her finishing strong. Way to go.
And the crowd is cheering her on down
Good for
here.
her.
What
All
an
right.
amazing moment.
Mark, is this a surprise? Are you thinking this is kind of par for the course?
I think
Great
she might tell
performance.
you she's very surprised to win it. She told me that, and we had a short conversation this morning, she told me that she just wants to see what she's got in her. We were texting about a few things in getting to the line, but over the last couple weeks, she says, I don't really know what it's going to look like. But again, this is a seasoned, serious runner, ran at the University of Tulsa, won the OKC Memorial Marathon in 2018, and now to take the half has got to be very, very special to her.
What an incredible runner.
She doesn't look that tired, does she?
Not like we would look if we just got done running, not even half that.
Get me a lawn chair. I guess it's important, though, for all athletes when they cross the finish line. You don't want to stop. You want to kind of keep moving, Mark, right?
Keep moving.
That is important for everybody to know, that you usually don't want to take a seat. It's not the best thing for you, period, because even with these elite athletes, you don't want the blood to immediately pool. If any way possible, keep moving. You don't need to go into a 100-yard dash, but if you can stay upright and move a little bit, it will be easier down the road.
And here in just a moment, Robin Marsh, she moved from the start line. She's now here at the finish line for us, going to be talking to the winners. And there is the hand crate, the hand cycle athletes coming as well.
You nailed it, Amanda.
And what do we know about our winner here, Mark?
As of
is this
now,
Glenn Pemberton with the hand crate.
Okay.
He won the wheelchair race in 2022. His time was one. Well, he's beaten this time. I must have the wrong time here, but if this is our guy Glenn, well, he's moving quite a bit. Well,
yeah, he's getting there, and where we are right now, when you get to 1:31 in the half marathon, you're talking about 7-minute pace. That is very, very solid. These folks who can do that, that's big time. That's obviously enough. 3:03 over a marathon, and that is not your everyday casual jogger.
That is amazing. I believe this is Steven Scalzo. He has cycled in 7 marathons, and he told me the other day when I had a chance to talk to him that he came here to remember the victims, that this is very important to him as well.
Wow.
Our Robin Marsh is down there at the finish line. Let's check in with her. Robin.
Well, talk about a boss lady. Kristen Vaughn, the winner of the women's half marathon here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me, you just had, how far out are you from having your twins?
10 months today. My twin boys turned 10 months today. So.
Oh my God, and you're out here running the half marathon. I mean, where do you get that drive and that strength to do that, Kristen?
I don't know. I just didn't want my boys to see me lose my first race, so.
Well, I know your family's so proud of you. The gal that came in second, she was she was behind you pretty close. Did you ever feel like it was neck and neck?
No, she started out ahead of me, and then we just slowly, worked our way up. My goal was 1:30, and I knew if I hung in the 6:30 pace, once I hit Klassen, I felt like I could reel her in.
Oh, well, congratulations, Kristen Vaughn, our women's half marathon winner. Congratulations.
Thank you
so much. All right. Okay, Stephen. Okay. Hey, we're going to have the wheelchair winner for you coming up in just a moment as well. We're going to let him get the medal. We'll send it back to you guys.
This is such an exciting time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And wait, what did she say? She didn't want to see her family lose her first race back or something? I guess she's.
We are impressed.
Yeah,
no
we are
about
absolutely impressed. That was phenomenal right there.
What I'd like to say, too, is as these athletes are coming down the home stretch, that final eighth of a mile, what an emotional moment it is, because lining the last eighth of a mile are banners that not only say the names of the 168 victims who died, but also showing their faces.
Yeah, and the banners with the names on them are placed throughout the course at different spots, but the names and the pictures are right here along the finish line.
Yes.
So they get to see those faces, they get to read those names as they're coming in. And the idea of that, obviously, is that's that final push. That's why we run. That's why we run to remember, and those are the names and faces.
And again, when it gets tough and you see something like that and you realize in an environment like this, you think everybody's a runner. Everybody does this. They are still part of a very minute minority. You realize how very fortunate you are to do it. In effect, one day changed things where all of those banners and those faces you saw never had a chance to do it again. And if that doesn't give you perspective, then you might not be here for the right reason. But that is not the case for anyone. It is impossible not to be affected by that.
Let's go to Robin Marsh now. She's got the winner of the wheelchair race. Robin.
Great competition.
How do you say your last name again?
Scalzo.
Scalzo. Okay.
Scalzo.
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 Are you? Yeah, we're ready.
It's
Okay.
Italian.
I'm Paisan, right? Oh, congratulations. Okay, we're up right now with the wheelchair winner, Steven Scalzo. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Boy, you booked it, right?
Yes, I was shooting. I knew Glenn won last year, and I knew he keeps getting better and better. So the competition was great. Yeah.
Are you from Oklahoma City?
I am from Hera, Oklahoma. Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
12 years.
12 years.
No, only 7 in the marathon.
In the marathon.
Yeah.
Your time, I think it was like a little over 3 minutes per mile.
That's nice. I'm happy. I'm wondering what the total time was, because I know the record's 1:36, and that's Ken Lewis. He had that from quite a few years ago.
Well, we are so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did it mean to have everyone cheering for you through the course?
It was great. Those people, they cheer, but I couldn't do anything but keep pedaling. You know, I just keep pedaling. But they were there. They were always there, cheering us on. It was great.
How old are you, Stephen?
68.
68. Well, you're looking good. You're number 1 in our books today. Congratulations.
I would like to thank the PVA, the Paralyzed Veterans of America, and the VA Hospital for all their support.
Making it happen for you. Well, God bless you, friend. You are an inspiration to all that are watching today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that is our wheelchair winner, Steven Scalzo from Oklahoma, from Hera, and boy, he made it in 3 minutes. I think it's 3 minutes and 32 seconds per mile. That is a victory for sure. Amanda, Carl.
Incredible. And just like so many of us and so many people who run this race, he knows exactly where he was when the bombing happened. In fact, he was at Rose State College, and his wife was a nurse at St. Anthony. And so this race means more to them than just getting out there and trying to break a record.
Absolutely. And, he did say he wanted to beat Glenn. He
did it.
He had eyes on Glenn. They knew each other, and they said, hey, maybe it's my day today. So he got Glenn by about 35 seconds.
Competition always exists.
That difference is just 2 seconds a mile.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. It really boils down to minute differences. You think about a photo finish at the marathon distance over 26.2 miles over 2 hours and some 50 minutes, 45 minutes with the women, which has happened multiple times. We haven't had a men's photo finish.
That surprised me to learn that you have a 26.2 mile race, and at the end it's coming down to split seconds, and you actually have to go to a photo finish to see who won the race after all that.
Yes. And that a few of the young ladies, Kat Lyle and Jenny Grafe, were in 2 of them.
It is an unbelievable and exciting day out here at the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. It is a run to remember. We're so glad to be a part of this. We're going to continue our coverage, take a very short break. We'll be back with more in just one moment.
David is in the back of a truck, right?
And welcome back to our coverage of the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
Yeah, the corral behind us here, the finish line is starting to fill up. We see those really, really fast runners that are coming in, and a whole lot of runners still on the course out there. David Payne, we want to go to him. I haven't forgotten about David. He's in the back of a truck watching those elite runners. David, how are we doing?
Well, hey, guys, here's the deal. Just about a block back, he just took a corner, and he kind of twisted his ankle for a second. He kind of bit his teeth, and his mouth opened up. You could tell he was in pain for about 10 seconds. He slowed down some. He slowed down slightly here just in the last, since he did that. That was about 2 blocks back. So that was the first little hiccup of the day, but he turned a corner, and there was some uneven concrete, and he kind of, he rolled his ankle barely, and he came out of it. He looks good still. He's, so as far as that goes, but that's been in the last 2 minutes. That just happened. But he's smiling right now. He looks good. He's had about 5 glasses of water, 5 he's sipped on, 5 he's poured on his back. And we have a light north wind. Right now it's a perpendicular wind to his direction. I want to point out his speed earlier was a 5.22, and now it's back up to a 5.30, it looks like, at least on the last check, back up to a 5.3 or 5.30. So that slowed down some. But that corner back there was interesting. He really, really took it sharp, and it looked like it just might have rolled for a second. But he's back at it. His form looks great. I mean, and he's been smiling ever since, at least a couple times since he turned that corner and kind of kinked his ankle about 5 minutes ago. Guys, back to you.
War of attrition.
David,
Okay.
thank you for that.
Yeah,
Mark, let's just get your take real quick on what David was saying there and showing us.
Well, I'm glad he said he saw that his form is back. He even had a smile. But at one point, clicking off 5.22 average, and he seems to be back up to around 5.29, as David said. So gave up a little bit, but it's not unusual. The marathon, obviously enough, is a war of attrition, but sometimes you'll see, especially in elite races, and if folks are dueling it out, some faster miles, 18 to 22. As the strategy kicks in, they try to separate. Now, he's by himself, and we've talked about what that can be, and Andrew chronicled it also. It can be tougher by yourself.
What do you think is strategy here, knowing that maybe he, right at the moment he's not 100%, but he's still got a pretty good lead. He's at around 1:20 up. And what's his strategy coming down to conserve or just like go all out at this point?
Stay level. Right now, less effort expended when you're running as consistently as possible. Stay level. You've got a solid lead. It's not often the case that someone makes up a lot of ground. Now, someone comes from further behind at times to catch a lead runner. That is usually the lead runner's effort dissipating. Not so much so as a runner, they're not going to kick in. If they're running 5:30, you're not going to see a 4:30 from number 2. So if you can run level here, you got a great chance. That's your best strategy right now.
Our lead women's in the lead women's marathon race, we want to also go out there as well because Christy Coleman, she, just like the men, she has a lead right now, a sizable lead. Let's check in with Lacey Swope tracking the lead women's runner. Lacey?
Hey, good morning, guys. We're out here on Lakeview Drive, out here by Lake Hefner, and we've been with Christy since the very beginning at mile marker 5. We just crossed mile marker 15, and she has looked just like this. I mean, rock solid. As a non-runner watching her, I've just been in awe. There's no one been even in sight of her as far as another female runner is concerned. And I noticed so many things as a non-runner watching that I just want to share with folks at home. She's eating these gel packs. And so at mile marker 5, she pulls it out of her pocket, and she's eating this gel that's supposed to boost her energy. And I know Mark can speak more to that. She had another one at mile marker 10, another one right at about mile marker 15. So she's eating while running. And then multiple times she'll reach out and grab water from the folks on the side. So many folks cheering her on along the way. She cracks a smile at all the little kiddos that have been out cheering her on. A lot of folks screaming her name as she runs by, and then she just goes right back into game mode and game face mode. She put her sunglasses on at mile marker 12, and something that I've noticed about all these runners out here that's fascinating to me is you might think, what are they listening to? What's the music that's driving them? You know, what is that playlist? They don't have any earbuds in. None of them that we've been around, these marathon runners, have in music. They're talking, they're having conversations, and they're just kind of cheering each other on along the way, along with the crowd that we pass. Christy, here she goes, making another turn, and she doesn't change. I mean, she's just looked exactly like that for 15 solid miles. Something else that's been fascinating to watch is folks will come up on bikes and give her a bottle of water, hand it off to her. She kind of passes it around, hands it back, and she hasn't changed one single bit this entire time. So we're going to keep tracking her. So far, it's been all about Christy all morning long. The weather's been absolutely gorgeous. We've warmed up to the low 50s. We've had a sprinkle or two, just these little sun showers at times. Otherwise, it's a beautiful morning out here by Lake Hefner. Back to you guys.
All right, Lacey, we appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Mark, you're just kind of bringing this up as we take a look at Chrissy Coleman here, the lead runner on the female side for the full marathon. She's got some people she's with right there that she's running with. That has to help her out mentally. We're talking about it's a tough race to do alone, right?
Yes, and it helps them too. And I don't know that they are literally pacing her, but it's a mutual effort. And they're her friends, John Janak there on your left as you see the screen, Jonathan Morris, and they are all similar runners, so it works out for all of them. It's a win-win.
That is by design there, maybe right there. Well, one of the great things about this Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon is all of the neighborhoods that it weaves throughout. 25 different neighborhoods throughout Oklahoma City, Nichols Hills and the Village. And one of them at mile 15 has really grown in years. We're talking about the Lakehurst area.
That's right, and Lakehurst was just kind of added when they made this course change. It used to be going around Hefner, and then I think they dropped Hefner, and I don't know if there are a lot of runners like, oh, why'd you get rid of Lake Hefner? I really love going around Lake Hefner with that
the wind.
Like, no one complained about that, because when I did the relay, I went through Lakehurst, one of the first times we were going through Lakehurst, and I was like, this is great. Well, they should have done this from the start, but it's fun to have Lakehurst in. We have Storm Jones, who's out there now live with this neighborhood that just, added to the route about 4 years ago. So, Storm, how's it going out there on Lakehurst?
Hey, Carl and Amanda, it is a party here at Lakehurst, the 15-mile mark. I'll let you take a look at some of the folks out here. Everyone in the neighborhood's coming out. We got some classic cars, folks with noisemakers. The female leader came through just about 5 minutes ago. Bounce houses full of kids, and we also got a water station here behind us. Folks taking advantage of some hydration. Now, one of the folks instrumental in this water station is Gina Hernandez. Gina has been doing this since the very beginning. I know this is very dear to your heart, Gina. Tell me why you do this.
It is very dear to my heart. I'm a survivor, and I lost a couple of friends in the building, but this is a time to celebrate and remember.
Gina, you and your husband, we hear your husband back there on the speaker. What does it mean to you to be involved in this marathon year after year?
Well, it's an opportunity for us to let everybody know and not forget of all the people that survived, all the people who passed away, all the rescue workers, and it's just a time to celebrate life and to learn from our past.
Okay. Gina, you said you've been doing this off and on since the very beginning. How have you seen the race change and the support in new neighborhoods like this one?
Oh, I think it's great. I thank all the neighborhood and the people who own these residents that allow us to be here and to take up their space and just cheer everybody on, and I think it's a great thing.
All right, thank you so much for your time today. That's what it's all about, guys. The Run to Remember coming through Lakehurst Mile 15. Things are really picking up here. We'll check back in with you all coming up here in a little bit.
All right, Storm, we appreciate it. Nice job out there. You could hear it in Gina's voice, couldn't you?
Yes.
You could hear just what it means to her and
literal emotion.
What this is all about.
Yeah,
and just like Gina, this race means something to every single runner. And one of the special things about this race is remembering the 168 lives that were taken far too soon. And one thing that every racer got in their packet were these, or as they went to the expo, they could pick these up. It says in honor of. And they could write down somebody that's personal to them, somebody in their own family. Or there was also a table where they could learn about the 168 lives and their personal stories, meet some of the family members. And so I know a lot of them, on their back of their shirts, they'll be running in honor of one of those 168 lives lost. And we've talked to family members, and that means a lot to them as they pass by and they're like, oh, you're running in honor of my loved one.
And maybe they don't get a chance to run, but they also get a chance to volunteer. We've noticed that we have 2,500 volunteers out here, and there was a guy we talked with when we were doing our special, Nick Chafee. He was I think 4 years old when he lost his mom in the bombing, and he kind of learned later in life what happened, what that was all about, and now he comes here and this helps him heal. He's a trainer, so he's out here helping the athletes, athletic trainer. So if someone gets hurt along the way, he's going to be there for them. But that's just one of the 2,500 volunteers that make this all possible.
It means so much.
Yes, a key element is to the Memorial and Museum is the education factor to the next generation. They've had a tremendous push over this last 5 to 8 years because so many of them, obviously enough, were not alive when this happened, and the notion of the more we educate people and make them aware of this, the less chance of it reoccurring. And when you see the kids marathon yesterday, big time numbers have come back to that. We are one of the pinnacle kids marathons in the region. That just tells you that they are getting the message. All of these participants can go to the memorial free this weekend at times, and we want them to have that message as well, not just those of us who were here. And the marathon gives the message as vocally and as loud and clear as consistently as anything.
If you have your running bib, hang on to that because that will get you free admission into the museum there. I should also mention for runners or for anyone, the streetcars are free of charge this entire weekend as well. So if you're not downtown, come on downtown and you can explore the area free of charge.
Let's go back out to Bobby Miller now. She's in the Asian district having some fun there. And maybe by this time, I don't know if she's got a chance to catch up with our Alex Cameron, who is part of the relay. Alex is supposed to be out there at some point with Bobby. Hopefully he's there now.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, all sorts of runners now behind you, Bobby. How's it going?
Yes! Okay, guys, there is not only a flood of runners here at mile 10 for these half marathoners, but we have music, yes indeed. And Amanda, guess what? I just heard a, hey Bobby! I turned around and it was your Nick! So I cheered him on. He is doing great. He was all smiles, so perfect. Okay, so our first marathon here at OKC was in 2001. We had 6,000 runners, and guess what? 6,000 volunteers. Yes, the number of volunteers matched the number of runners. Well, there are still a ton of volunteers, even though we're more than 18,000 runners this time. But one of my favorite runners just finished his first leg of this relay, of a News 9 relay, and that's Alex Cameron. Alex, yes! I'm so glad to see you today.
It's so good to be here, Bobby.
You got to tell me how your run was this morning.
This is the most beautiful running day.
Yes.
It felt great. I'm not in great shape, but
yes, you
know, you can get motivated for something like this. And I just did the 10K, and I really thought I was running fast.
You were.
I wasn't.
You were.
But it felt good, and there's just so many. These are some of my peeps right here. The folks who are running the half marathon are finishing right now, but really, it's a perfect day for running. I know you wish you could be running today.
I'm pretty sad that I'm not running. You're right. So Alex and I were on a relay team together, a News 9 relay team. Yes, and we were great. We beat the governor. We got our shirts.
We absolutely did.
Yeah, we did.
I'm counting on my team beating them again this year too.
I bet you guys will. You have a strong News 9 team.
We do.
So yes, a flood of runners. These people, woo! Doing great, guys!
Way to go!
They're so excited.
I know. It really, the atmosphere, the excitement, it's just so much fun to be running with these folks because everyone's just talking and giving high fives and the crowd is just cheering you on. I mean, the participation by the community is really special here.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not I've only done a few marathons, but this one really is special.
Few. It really is, absolutely. Our course is too, and this camera kind of pumps people up too. We've had a few people come up and to the camera, but we weren't on just then.
I know.
But whatever motivates them, right?
Exactly.
Whatever gets them pumped. Okay, so another special part about being in the Asian district is so we're mile 10 for the half marathoners, but mile 23 if you're running the full marathon.
Yes, and so right now, really either way, you may be starting to hurt. You may be hurting pretty badly, as a matter of fact, depending on how great of shape you're in. But for the full marathoners, this is a tough point. You know, they're going to be, some of them have hit the wall and struggling to make it right through here. And for the half marathoners, this is also, you're like, you know, you're getting close, but still 3 miles to go. You know, that's not a walk in the park. So
it's exciting. I may have to run down the block and back at least. I really feel like I'm missing out here. Yeah.
I know. Well, we're going to get you out. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Go for it.
We're so excited for you. Okay, next time you see us, it's so fun. We're gonna have Asian dancers, and you know the Red Dragon?
Yes.
Yes, they're coming as well. I think they're holding off a little bit until the full marathoners
Okay.
come by for mile 23, but
That's going to be awesome.
great job
That's gonna be
today.
awesome. This is a
It's
great
so
location.
good to see you. We're so glad you came in from DC for this.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it.
Reporting live from the Asian District, you got Bobby and Alex. Can't wait to see you again. Back to you guys.
All right, I know that Bobby would really want me to go on about our victory over the governor when we ran the relay race together in 2019. So I'm going to take this opportunity right now to do just that.
Let's
but yes,
do it.
Alex was on our team. So was Bobby. It was Bobby's husband and Ann Cameron, Alex's wife. That made up our relay team. But what was funny about that is we really like, we're going to beat the governor. I mean, it became like a thing. And I would say, like, all politics aside with the governor, when he was elected, he said, hey, this beat the governor challenge, it motivated so many people to get out there. We have almost today, I think we have like 472 relay teams, and these are the shirts you get when you beat the governor. And I'll tell you right now, I can remember the day that we were told after we beat the governor that these shirts were ready. And we were at the station. I'm like, they're ready right now. I'm like, I'm going now. I'm going now. I just drove right down there and parked. I'm like, there's shirts. Where are the shirts? We beat the governor. Do you need proof of this? I know. Here are your shirts. Thanks for running.
So this is how it works. So basically the governor runs the relay, and this year he's running it with his family, which is special for him. And so if your relay team beats the governor's time, then you get one of those T-shirts. And last year, about half the relays beat his time. I don't mean to make it sound like it wasn't as good of time for you.
So I understand. And I'm not sure if they're doing this year, but if you won your division,
Right.
he had there was going to be like a barbecue lunch that you got invited to at the mansion.
How
and we did not win our division, but my neighbor, she was part of the team that did, and she had a lot of fun. And went there. So it's just a cool thing, and I think the relay is such you're part of this thing. You get to see the whole course. You get to finish with your team at the end. There's an opportunity for you to like join them, and you can finish as a group. So
and you all
it's a
get
lot of
your
fun.
medals there at the end. So another great spot along the way. Such a popular spot. It has grown over the years too. Of course, we're talking about Gorilla Hill.
The party, it's still going on. It's been going on since last night. They set the whole thing up. It's just such a popular place. We have our Colby theme. We also have Lisa Monahan out there providing coverage from Gorilla Hill. And look, we got Lisa and a banana outfit. I love it.
The energy is contagious, so I sort of got consumed. I'm just one of a whole bunch of bananas out here, about 75 to 100. They've been out here since last night. The energy is contagious. It has been very exciting. This is definitely the party place. It's a legendary location on the route. It's been going on for about 13 years now. And when I talk about getting consumed by the energy, I lost Colby in the crowd. I couldn't even find him. But see if we can try to locate Colby here somewhere. I know he has to be around here. These bananas, it's bananas out here, I tell you. Hey, man, we're supposed to be doing this thing.
Sorry, I got caught up in the moment.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's exciting out here. Let me tell you something. Some of the runners, once the really fast runners, once they made it out of here, the party didn't stop in. We're seeing a lot more people walking right now. When the walking started, that's when they also brought out the beer cans. And yes, people have been walking by and grabbing them and downing them before moving on. It's
Just
been
moments
crazy.
ago, a guy stops, hugs a big beer, and then took off running again. It's unbelievable.
This is the hallmark of this place right here, right? This is why people love Gorilla Hill. It's a lot of fun. I'm telling you right now, as soon as the marathon's over, the party's not going to stop here. They're going to be out here probably all day long. They're already out here all night. It has been so much fun. The energy that this crowd brings to the folks that are running and walking by is truly amazing.
You can see some people sort of like struggling as they came to the mile 7. And Colby and I are dancing. We're high-fiving. And then all of a sudden you see their energy kind of just boost.
It definitely boosts. And I tell you what, all these people that have been partying hard and having a lot of good time and they've been up all night, they're not going to get cramps. You know why they're not going to get cramps? Lots of potassium. We're talking about 2,000 bananas cut up into thirds, 6,000 pieces of banana, and they are still having a lot of fun out here. Impossible to keep the energy down. Impossible not to have a smile on your face as you're coming right up Gorilla Hill.
Also, Colby, I really like your costume.
Oh, that was a very appealing joke. Thank you very much.
It's bananas.
Yes, we're having a great time out here, guys. Come and join us at some point, all right? We'll send it back to you.
I tell you
Bravo,
what, that,
yes.
yeah, way to go.
They
I love
are
it. Yeah,
doing their
yeah.
part right there.
Well, that's what you do there at Gorilla Hill, right? When you don that banana suit, that's your like your superhero cape for the weekend, right? Because they take the job seriously. They know it's their job not just party all night, but to be there cheering on all the runners up there. It's a special time.
It started in 2010 as well.
That's rarefied air. You get one of those costumes.
Exactly. You got to bring it for sure.
Yes.
So great to see. So we'll be checking in with our crews momentarily, but we do want to bring you up to speed on the leaders for the men's and women's marathon. Mark, we'll bring you in, and you can talk about who you see in the lead and your thoughts on that, because what do you think? About 30 more minutes, and we may have a winner here?
Yes, you're seeing something very interesting unfold first here. It's an amazing sport. You can run with the best in the race on the same surface on the same day, no matter if you're a runner or a walker, as you saw a moment ago. Now we're back to Christy Coleman, and you'll see that happen here too, as they are passing some of the half marathoners doing their thing at a very different pace, still doing their thing and conquering their accomplishment. And that is an incredible thing about the sport. You can run with the best in the world on the same surfaces. And Ben, now as we cross 2 hours in 30 seconds here, he's got a personal best at 2:22. From what I hear, he's not ready for that, but I'm not sure that that's the case actually. And 222 is our Memorial Marathon record. He might be ready for that there. They said he was in great shape. I don't know if he had a little injury recently, a little delay, but he looks good, and I don't know exactly where he is on the course, but now he has gotten back, settled in. As David said, there was a little bit of a hiccup, but he looks comfortable right now. You never know what can change, but he's solid, he's smooth. Right now, we're not seeing anything out of line.
He has slowed down a little. His pace right now is 5:33, at least that's at the last split. We're talking about Ben Anderson right now, who is in the lead, and his lead was over a minute, and it's dwindled now. We have Al Mader behind him, and so Al is now 50 seconds at backs, and there's quite a bit of race to go.
Don't sleep on Al. Yeah, he was your half marathon winner last year. He's taken the lead out in a few of the marathons, but he has really become a savvy racer now, and he runs a very smart race a lot more often, and winning the half last year. And if he's inside, as you say, just check a minute of Ben.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough race, there's enough course left for him to catch him. And if we're just looking at the pacing, Al right now is about 10 seconds faster per minute. So we could have a tight race down the stretch. And again, just so if you're just watching, Ben was in the lead, had a pretty comfortable lead. We checked in with David Payne, saw he may have got kind of tweaked an ankle or something, and came and slowed down a little bit, but then had a smile going on. It looked like he got his rhythm, his pace back. But it's just kind of shaping up to be a pretty close race on the men's side.
Just to give folks at home an idea of the winner last year and the time that they ran, 2 minutes and 24 seconds for the men's race. And then
2 hours, 24 minutes.
2 hours, 24 minutes, correct. And then the marathon women's, Mikhail Montgomery broke the record at 2 hours and 41 minutes.
And Mikhail won in 2013, won last year, as you say. She wanted to be here this year, but some family obligations and a long nagging injury that she's coming out of. There's a time in a season for everything. And just Thursday, she told the race, much as I hate to say it, I can't make it. And the winner from last year, Bryant Kearns, actually her student at OSU last year, and they were training partners. He hoped to be here too, but the injury set him to the sideline for this year. But you want to come back and repeat. This is a home state race for them. It means so much, as we've talked about, and you never know who will take the headlines year to year here. And this race, by no means, as you mentioned, is over.
we heard from Andrew Leahy. I mean, he's our half winner, and he came over here, and we just had a couple seconds to say something to him, but he said it was cold.
Yeah.
He said he was cold. So what does that mean when you have a race day where it's a little bit colder than, I mean, I know runners like to be in the cold, but maybe it does get a little too cold.
Yeah, and especially after the race. I think
That's
he was
when you really
speaking
feel
more
it.
to
Yeah.
that, and that's where you got to be careful. I don't care what condition you're in. You might see him with the Mylar blankets on, the shiny blankets. It's important. It has nothing to do with your fitness level, and this is a mild day, but on days that have some moisture built in, Boston 13 days ago was that, folks were pretty frigid afterward. You try to seek some shelter. I told him you might want to head to the VIP tent. Yeah.
Get warmed up. Well, as we follow these elite runners, we're also following all the other runners out there, and that is a big story of this marathon as well. In fact, right in between mile number 8 and mile number 9, we have our Mike Glover standing by for us. Mike, go ahead.
Okay, Amanda and Carl, I am here with Dr. Josh. We're at about 62nd and Chartel, and Dr. Josh is with a very important part of the marathon. He's with the medical tent. Now, Dr. Josh, you are a doctor of
physical therapy.
Physical therapy, and you have about how many tents out with the marathon?
So we're one of about 15 tents that are throughout the course, and then that's in addition to the main medical tent at the finish line.
Wow, and about how many people in the tent?
So each medical tent typically has between 3 to 4 professionals, licensed medical professionals who are volunteering, and then typically about 4 to 5 students who are also helping volunteer.
And what are like some of the things you're treating today?
So we're just here to help anything that the runners need, lots of treating chafing, blisters, cramping, those sorts of things, and then being on site in case anything bigger from an emergent standpoint arises.
Wow, okay, and so out here, I've seen people get wrapped and all of that type of stuff too. They had to get their ankles wrapped up.
Yeah, it's, treating anything that they might need, throughout the course. You don't complete a marathon without having some sort of aches and pains go on, and everybody has conditions that they've been battling through training. And so at this point, we're just here to support them in any way we can to help them the best they can to finish this race and do it in a way as most comfortable as possible.
Yeah, and the cool thing, when you guys aren't treating people, you're cheering them on.
That's exactly right. We're here to really support the overall mission of what this race is about, and really, celebrating these runners who are running and remembering the mission of the memorial, and remembering those lives that were lost, those, that survived, and those lives that were changed forever.
Yeah. All righty, thank you so much, Carl and Amanda. A very important part of this relay, this race, is the medical staff. That's part of it we don't really think about, but that is part of it. I'm at Northwest 62nd and Chartel. Mike Glover for Oklahoma Zone News 9.
Mike, thank you. 250 medical volunteers, and we appreciate every single one of them. In all, 2,500 volunteers making this event happen. If you see one of them out there today, make sure to tell them thank you.
Yeah, no, this is serious business. I mean, a marathon is not easy. I mean, just even half marathon or just doing a leg of the relay, it isn't easy. That's why the medical staff is there. Last year when we had this race, there were 15 runners hospitalized. So it can have injuries happen. It can happen, and of course, you want that help there just in case something does go wrong. There's staff along the way for sure.
And today, they should be well benefited by the conditions, because what they're first worried about is either extreme, whether hypothermia or folks not tending to their intake on a hot day. And under the diligence for 21 years of Dr. Tom Caniglione here, and now Dr. Brian Coleman heading it up. Folks they came to Dr. Caniglione for years from Boston, from Chicago, from New York to seek his counsel. And that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
You
Sure
betcha.
does.
Yeah.
Okay. More coverage from the 2023 Run to Remember when we come back.
And what a beautiful morning out here as we are continuing our live coverage of the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. And there is a new storyline developing right now.
Yeah, we have a change on the men's side. Full marathon here. We have Al Mader now, who's just taken the lead from Ben Anderson. We checked in with David earlier, and Ben was kind of maybe struggling a little bit, maybe turned an ankle or so. But they just had their split at the 32K mark, and Al now in the lead. What do you make of that, Mark?
Looks like Al has slightly sped up while Ben has maybe stayed constant. They didn't have a lot of difference between them at the start. And again, this is a marathon. To say it's a race of inches, it's minute details. And you've got a lot of miles when you're at the halfway point. You don't need to make things up by mile 14. You make up 4 seconds a mile over the last 13 miles. That's basically a whole minute. And again, Al is running a smart race. He's run diligently these last few years. He took it out real fast a couple of marathons 4 and 5 years ago and paid a price. But he's a talented runner, and now I think he's got his approach down. And this should be real good as we approach the 5K left in the race, Mark.
This is the name I was given to one to watch. It was Al Mader, just because they said he's going for the course record, and right now his clip is 5:07, 5:07 a minute.
That's not his average, but that's his clip right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty significantly faster than he was going.
It's significantly more so than I thought.
Yeah.
And if he stays in that ballpark, his time is going to vastly improve. In fact, to a point. Well, that course record, Connor Holt's 2:22. I should say the race record. It's a different course, so technically the race record is only 10 minutes out.
Okay.
So that's not happening today. But for him to be this salty, this late, good things should come.
I like that.
Let's do this. Jim Gardner's up in Bob Mills Sky News 9. So let's take a live look from up above just to give us that bird's eye view of where these runners are. And Jim, I'll let you talk to us for a second and tell us what you're seeing. Jim, go ahead.
Well, right now, I mean, he just came up behind him and really, just outstrided him and blew past him there. And right now, he's going to be passing Northwest 13th Street here as he comes down Classen. So again, he just really turned it on. He looks really strong. He looks really good right now. I don't know if that ankle turn affected the last runner or not, but he could not even keep up with him when he passed him. And he has really got a good pace going right now, and so we'll stay with him and we'll follow him in here. Jim Gardner reporting live for Bob Mills Sky News 9. Back to you.
Okay, Jim, hey, we appreciate it. Let's check in with David Payne now, who has the lead runner, which is now Al Mader. David?
Yeah, guys, here's the deal. At 27th in Classen, that was a takeover point. 27th in Classen, and we could see Al making the move back, just, creeping up, and he really put it on. He got behind him by about 50 yards, and he just turned it on. And I think we got to go back to that corner back in Nichols Hills when Ben kind of torqued that ankle. It slowed him down, and he instantly slowed down, and I'm not sure that he's completely recovered from that. I'll say this, Al, a couple of times, and Mark can obviously talk on this, but is every now and then he'll reach down and grab, his abdomen low, like below his belly button. He's done that a couple of times, but all in all, he is moving. His pace is much faster. I can still see Ben, but he is now a good block to a block and a half behind Al. But Al took him at 27th in Classen, and now they have a wind to their back. It's a north breeze, so that's going to I think maybe help a little bit here. But Al is moving, and he's getting a little bit faster. I mean, he really. When he took him at 27th on Classen, he really cranked it up. And man, guys, he looks good right now for sure. I mean, he is not slowing down one bit. He's not missing one beat, guys. Back to y'all.
No, I mean, we're looking at now, Dave. You're right about that. And when we were seeing Ben, and he was going fine. He never reached the pace that Al's at now. 5:07. Al's putting the hammer down here in the last maybe 10 minutes of his race.
That's incredible to move to 5:07 from the mid-fives, and 2 great points by Jim and David. By Jim, he said when he went by, his stride was noticeably stronger. A runner, when they pass someone, and someone they've had their eye on, like it's a hot competition, they want to do it with force. They want to break you. They want to think, they want you thinking, they want to break you, so they want you thinking that they got everything, and the guy you've just passed thinking that, wow, how strong, how can you be that strong? So it sort of defeats you mentally if you let it. Second point, it could be that grabbing his abdomen, if it was multiple times, that it was a little bit about maybe a side stitch that creeps up. But I'll tell you what, everything there looked methodical, smooth, and to be going basically 20 seconds faster than you were doing miles back is big time this late in the race. He threw in a surge, wanted to break him, but now he's not giving it up. Sometimes the surge is just till you can break free. But as David said, basically a block plus lead right now.
Yeah.
It is impressive for sure as we watch the lead runners and both the men's and the women's race. You know what's also impressive is just how the community comes out for this amazing race. Our Storm Jones is in the Lakehurst edition with the latest from there. Storm, it's been a great morning.
Hey guys! Woo! Hey, you know, one of our favorite things about the Lakehurst community is the inflatables, and it really is a family affair out here, guys. Hey, what's your name?
Florence Remmer.
Florence, tell me what we're doing out here today. Come over here, buddy.
We're
We're watching the marathon, aren't we?
yeah.
What's your name?
Payson.
What's your favorite thing about the marathon? All the runners? They were so excited to be on TV right before we came out here, guys. The Lakehurst community, look at all the runners. There's dozens of folks coming by in a steady stream. They're getting refreshments down the street. There's folks from babies to folks up, in their 80s out here hanging out in the Lakehurst community. Really a new community along the race course. About 15 miles deep into the race. You're kind of on the downhill slide, 8 miles to go from this point. And folks are staying strong up here. The weather, we've heard just beautiful weather for this race this afternoon. Guys, I'm out of breath, okay? These kids, I don't know about a marathon, but the bounce house has got me whipped. Guys, back to you.
That's where it's at.
Might need some more practice there. Way to go,
Absolutely.
Storm. Love it.
Hey, we're going to check in now with Robin Marsh. She is at the finish line here, and she has a very special finisher. Robin.
Well, we can say that Robin's, it's very much a family affair.
Yeah.
Robin, as you may know, she was a very integral part of our coverage back when the bombing happened. She was down there and really helped a lot of families during that time. Well, that is really deep in her heart, and she has shared that love and the importance of continuing the story for folks who weren't even born back then, but have been born since then. And one of those kids happens to be her son, who has really grown up.
Passed along to him, and her son, Cade, did the half marathon. So now Robin gets a chance to interview her own son.
Love it.
Man, that was awesome.
I got my mom hat on, let me tell you, full of pride for my boy Cade. How was it?
It was great. I loved every second of it from start to finish. It was awesome. I couldn't believe I did it, but hey, I did it, so.
Was there ever a point where my legs are killing me?
The last mile and a half, I was like, man, I got to push through. And then once I was like, you just got to do it and finish it. Because it's like you trained all this time. It's like, what's one more mile, half a mile to you,
Oh my gosh, that's great. Your time was pretty good. What was your goal? How did you finish?
It was 2:08, and I was like wanting to be right around 2:10, 2 hour mark. So it was perfect.
God. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Hey, thank you.
Oh,
man.
Oh, this is a great moment. And what did you think of just all the support from the city everywhere you ran?
Man, it was like every mile, every like quarter of a mile, it was like you had someone cheering you on, and it just like kept me going. And I was like, you're running for a bigger purpose other than yourself. And I was like, that's just kind of what was running through my head the entire time, and I just loved every second of it.
Well, go get a mimosa. I know.
Hey,
that's
come
what you
on.
wanted.
Hey, we're going to have some fun now. Time to celebrate, right?
Oh, good job, Kate. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Okay. All right. That's my guy. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, Cade ran today. Obviously did great. Sounds like he's trying to get Mom out there for mimosas. Not yet, Robin. But Robin did the 5K yesterday. Also did awesome out there. And we had a chance to watch her finish. It was pretty cool. We're just screaming at her. It's amazing when you see the finish line. You can hear the cheers, but you don't really. And I'm just like, Robin. And she, like, Robin Marsh. She finally looks over like, hey.
And the crowd is about to go wild
Yes.
behind us right now because we are getting so close to having a winner for this year's marathon.
Looks like we'll see Al Mader within the next 2 minutes on Oklahoma City Boulevard. That surge may have been able to distance himself.
He's getting close for sure.
It was a decisive move, and it kept on going. Sometimes you pass and you get 10 yards, you collect yourself and hope to hold that and then nudge back up. It was more than decisive, and he knows it now.
Yeah.
He's juiced.
Cheer me on.
He's there.
This kind of sounds like you were saying this is someone who learned from past experiences. You said Al was out here, was kind of disappointed with past finishes.
So.
And he kind of picked up the pace, like you said, at the very end. I mean, he's...
So David Payne is going to have to pull off any moment, but he has the lead runner right now. David?
Yeah. Well, you know, guys,
Go
you
ahead,
saw that reaction when we turned the corner back here. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can, David. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, all right. When he turned the corner back there, you saw his excitement. He put his hands in the air. He feels it. He smells it. He sees it. And, guys, his pace is strong. I mean, Ben, at the beginning, when Ben was running, at the beginning, the first 5 miles was running about like this. And now Al is doing this at the end. And it's amazing to listen to Bravo talk. I mean, he's the best. About it really, he was coming up on him hard, and then he really, when he went by him, he just barreled by him. And I think, like Ben said, Mark said, you know, just kind of took the wind out of his sails a little bit. And Al is he's moving on, man. His stride is good. He has not slowed down, and he sees the finishing line here. He is moving on. So, guys, we're stopped here. You guys have it from up top, but Al's making the move. He's coming in hot, coming in fast.
No, he's looking good, looking great. And you mentioned it, Mark, that you want to send a message with that pass, right? Like
you do indeed.
Don't worry about catching me, right? I'm already gone.
Yeah. This was my shot, and I took it. And he's going to be very close to the race record. That being 2:22. Connor Holt, a 2-time winner here. In fact, Connor texted me and said Ben's passed him, as David had told me just a few seconds before. Connor's still very interested in the race. He and his wife Camille Heron, a 3-time winner herself.
So that was when Connor got the record. That was the old course, okay?
Oh, indeed.
And
finishing on Broadway around the lake, as you
around the
mentioned.
lake. So is that the harder course? I mean.
Oh, I don't know. Again, it still rolls enough. Some people think the lake, because as we say around here, it's windy at Lake Hefner, even if it's not windy in the rest of the world.
All right, here he comes.
Go.
Here comes Al Mader. Oh, and he is pumped up. This is kind of fun to see.
Look
Man,
at him go.
Truly.
Wow. I love that. He's getting the crowd into it.
He is feeling good, and we hear the crowd out here live at the finish line.
Pardon me, Amanda. You've got different personalities of runners, and Al is definitely in the animated department. And who wouldn't be on a day like this? You're about to capture your second Oklahoma City victory and your first at the full distance.
I feel like we might see a Hulk Hogan moment where he might tear off his jersey
there
here.
You go.
Good for Al, though. I mean, he was in second place for the majority of this race, and then just made his move and hasn't looked back.
Indeed. And it's going to be a great effort by Ben Anderson, but today belongs to Al Mader.
He is an incredible athlete, no doubt about it, as he is coming down the home stretch right now. He is getting the crowd pumped, and he almost did it, Carl.
This is great. This is fun to watch. He's doing it right here. Almeida.
Congratulations to him.
Your champion on the men's side.
What a fun finish to watch, Mark.
And going just over 2 hours, 25 minutes. That is positively in the best handful of Oklahoma City marathons in this event ever run.
Wow. So what I mean, obviously the strategy worked. I mean, he's holding back a little bit and then just
whether holding back or just steadier and stronger late, but that surge was major. That was big time.
Does that happen race day, during the race, the course of the race, go, okay, I see this guy ahead of me, I'm going to try to do, and then I'll make my move? Or is it beforehand, you know what, I'm going to go at this pace until like mile 18 and then kick into gear?
Mostly race day. You see how it unfolds, and a priority would always be a victory, other than maybe certain locations in the Olympics where it's definitely about the victory, not the time. If your pursuit is more the clock than the placement necessarily, then it's a different story. But usually it's a matter, Carl, about how the day unfolds and then going from there.
So how much is somebody like Almeida training for this day? I mean, is it nonstop that he is running marathons every day out there to try to get ready for this big one?
He's running most days. Could well be in the 70 to 100 mile a week range. That's 100 miles a week. So that's basically beyond a half marathon every day. But it's safe to say 75 plus miles a week. And that mixes in not simply a casual race with a beer and a cigarette. That is certain disciplines, certain days. You do speed work, specific workouts, along with intervals, tempo running that we constitute as speed. You do a particular long run or two, and you got to be careful you don't put those next to each other, even the most experienced, because it's all about balancing, and what we mentioned earlier, a concerted number of weeks and months uninjured. But also,
he knows what he's doing.
Yes, a lot of miles that you run quite a bit slower than this pace. He ran 5:30 today, basically, and he'll run some 7-minute miles, which that's superlative miles for most any of us. But to them, they're just getting the miles in, making sure they're building up that stamina.
This is for elite runners, but I would think that this is for any runner out there that wants to get better. They can kind of follow this where they're peaking.
Sure.
Let's hold off, Mark. I'm sorry. We want to go to Robin. She does have Almeida the winner on the men's side.
Oh yeah. Almeida, the winner of the 2023 marathon in Oklahoma City. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Al, we watched you. You were booking it that last mile. What in the world was going through your mind?
I don't know. The last few, everyone's hurting. I was just trying to run my race and let them come back. But it was hurting. But man, once I saw the final stretch, it's relief. Is a long time coming. A lot of years training. So man, that feels good. So.
There was a point where you took over Ben, who had been leading for quite a while. What was that like? What was going through your mind?
I don't know. A few years ago, I was in the same spot. I led on Classen, and I know it's a tough stretch. So I wanted to be the one coming back on Classen. I mean, that was kind of the only way I knew I could hang with Ben, because Ben's the real deal. So I was like, the race starts on Classen, so I'm gonna try and come back there, and then. Last 3-4 miles were kind of a blur, but I was just trying to put my foot down and get there.
When you crossed the line and you bent down and you just pounded the pavement, what were you thinking?
I don't know. I just been running this for a few years, and just a lot of personal journey, and it felt good to finally win. Because, oh man, been a lot of up and down. So just the fact that I'm racing, it was just a lot of relief. So.
Your time was, I think, 2 hours and 25 minutes?
Somewhere around there, which I didn't even know. I thought I kind of lost it on Class, and I thought I was slowing down quite a bit, but, I guess I was still kind of clicking off even when it got tough. So, I mean, that's plenty fast. I thought I'd have to run somewhere around 227, 228 to compete today. So,
What do you say to all the people who lined the entire course cheering you on?
yeah. Of course, I make it no mistake that I love Oklahoma City. It's my hometown, and I just love what the race is about. And there's a lot of community involvement in my personal journey, and it was just thrilling, man. I love this city, so no doubt about it.
Well, and we're digging your shirt with the flag of Oklahoma on it.
I represent Oklahoma till I die. It's my favorite place in the world. I love this city, so.
Well, we are so proud of you. Congratulations to you, our
so
marathon winner.
You guys are so kind. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh! And I tell you, the guys that won the relay, are they your buddies?
Oh, yes. The guy I went to hug, Charlie. Charlie was kind of part of my original comeback journey, so I owe a lot to Charlie. He was one of my best friends, and he kind of got me back on the running circuit when I was done. So. Charlie's my guy.
Why were you done at that point? What was that turning point to get you back racing? What happened?
I don't know. You got to kind of, I feel like, hit a low spot to come back up, and I just had nothing else to do. And once I started running, everything else fell back into place. So it just kind of goes hand in hand with life. Once I started doing that, everything else started turning around, and I just had to ride with it.
Well, congratulations to our marathon winner. We are so thrilled for you.
You guys are awesome. Really, the whole city's great. I'm going to enjoy this. So.
Well, there he is, our marathon champion. Congratulations again, Mark Bravo. I know you're singing his praises today.
Mark's the man.
He is. Back to you guys. Thank you again.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, that's the sound of a man who's been on a journey that's a lot longer than 26.2 miles. I mean, this is that was heartfelt. That was amazing to watch. I mean, he's been through a lot, and here he is on top right now.
A lot of redemption stories out here, and it's wonderful to just see him succeed today and be the winner.
Running parallels life. It propels life. It does so much more than the physical for so many, and I'm really proud and really happy for that young man. Another totally class act.
I would say so. Second place winner, Ben Anderson, and third place, Mark Thompson for the day.
Great work by those guys.
We're talking about how special this race is, how there is not prize money to maybe lure some of these elite runners that are finishing tops in Boston and New York. But one thing you do have is you pretty much have an Oklahoman winning every year here. I mean, and if they're not an Oklahoman, they were one once. That's what I think is so special. These guys know each other too. He knows Ben. They train together. I think that's a special part of this race.
The sport is really a community. You need others to a great extent to reach your heights, and Oklahoma City is the penultimate community. So again, it's the parallel with running.
And we are glad to be part of this community and glad to be bringing you this live coverage of the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. We're going to take a very short break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Oh, we're going to Swope. Do you want to do it before Swope? Yeah, you want to get in. Well, Al Mater has won the men's marathon. Did so crossing the line just a few minutes ago. Now we're going to concentrate on the female side here, and she's just been out for a Sunday cruise. This is Christy Coleman. She's looking tough.
She sure is. Let's go out to Lacey Swope, who is in the lead tracking truck right there. Lacey, incredible running going on.
It's been amazing to watch. It's been all Christy Coleman all morning long. She's looked just like that. I will say in the last 2 miles, which she's got about 2 miles left, she has picked up the pace. It has been incredible. I know David was talking earlier, seeing some signs of possible injury or a little struggle earlier in some of the male runners. I have not seen her grab a side, make a mincing face. I mean, nothing. She keeps smiling at all the crowd that keeps cheering at her and cheering her on. I've actually been speaking with her husband, who's been riding a bike kind of alongside her at times. Her husband Jason's been cheering her on, helping to give her some water at times, and look at her go. Still smiling, still smiling. She is a stay-at-home mom, you guys. She has a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old son, and it's all about them all the time. And today it is about Christy. Her husband's so proud of her, and here she goes. I haven't seen anyone in sight. And I can see at times 50, even to 100 yards back behind her. Have not seen another female runner as we close in on the finish line. And right next to her, that is her training partner. That is Jonathan. And Jonathan has been next to her this entire time. She had a group around her earlier. They've kind of lost along the way. But it is all about Christy, the lead female right now. And she just keeps picking up the pace. Every time I check the tracker, 6:17 was her last mile, her fastest mile yet. So, guys, we're closing in. And how you doing, Christy? She's doing good. Thumbs up from Christy.
Well, yeah,
Plus 250, which she'd be.
yeah, she's looking tough. I mean, so how much, Mark, does that help to have someone right there? She has her training partners running it with her.
Hey, she might be helping him as much as he's
Yeah,
helping her.
I'm sure she is,
Indeed,
yeah.
Indeed.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Again, it's a win-win, and they look good. I think quite possibly she could break that 250 mark, which is a standard a lot of people look for. Her best, I think, is 251. She won last year in the half at 117. As we said before, up until maybe Friday, she was going to run the half. Switch to the full. You got to have some miles under your belt to do that.
And on Friday, she was saying that all of her racing partners were saying, you got to go for that full.
That was pure pressure.
Yeah.
The likely winner on the women's side, it was just pure pressured into this race at the last minute, my friends.
It's working.
Yeah,
I think it was all of that.
Oh, that's great.
A little, too, about Christy is running is completely in her blood, too. Her dad was actually part of the Boston Marathon as some of the staffing of that, and so he worked some on that behind the scenes. She said her mom ran as well. So running is definitely at her very core.
A collegiate runner. Her husband runs, and they're conquering the family thing, and I'm sure there is a lot of teamwork there with 3 boys.
So the husband's on a bike somewhere around there encouraging her. Maybe he's got the 3 boys strapped to him. The whole family can be out there to cheer mom across the line. Yeah, no, she had a strategy for this. Even though she may have gotten it last minute, obviously she's got some people to run with, and she had a game plan.
And again, you've got to have a base of miles under you. Even as an elite half marathoner, if you haven't put in the 20 milers, you don't really want to switch over to this, because the marathon continues to be. It's one of the reasons, it's the romance of the distance. Bill Rogers, one of our invited runners, arguably one of the handful of best marathoners ever to walk the earth. We were just playing around with the run a few years ago, and he said, you know, Mark, I dropped out of 8 or 9 marathons. This is one of the best ever, and I had not realized that.
Wow.
It humbles you. It will at some point humble everybody, and you never know what the day will hold. To the other side, you never know when it's going to be magic in a bottle.
Describe the lure, the runner's high for a full marathoner, because this is so much more than just going out and training an hour a day. I mean, you're rearranging your schedule. You're running 4 or 5 times. You try to, maybe it's one time you get a rest day during the week or something, and you're back out. I mean, these are long, grueling miles that you have to put in, and to cross the line, then you just like, you know what? I want to do it again. It's just to go faster, just test your limits. I mean, what is this addictive part of running a marathon? Because if you haven't done it, I don't think you get it.
Could well be the case. It can range everywhere from what I tell people. Sometimes I don't want to run, and I don't run every day, but I run not because of the physical experience that I'll have, but how I know I'll feel mentally if I don't.
Yeah, all right.
We have one of the winners right now, or I should say several of the winners right now, because Robin Marsh standing by for us with the relay winners. Robin?
All right.
Well, this is the Oklahoma Coaches Collective. So as coaches, they knew they better do pretty good, and they did great. They are our relay winners. Tell me your name and where you coach.
Sure, I'm Carson Moon. I'm a math teacher and cross-country coach at Classen SAS.
Alex Davis, I'm a math teacher and a cross-country track coach at Cassidy School.
All right, we've talked to you, but go ahead.
I'm Andrew Leahy, and I help coach, volunteer coach at track and cross country at OU.
Hey, my name's Charlie Riker, and I coach at Westmore High School.
Hey, I'm Joe Engel. I'm a middle school cross country and track coach at Cassidy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what was the game plan for you guys?
Put together the fastest coaches in the state. It was our step one.
Well, it looks like y'all did that for sure, right? What is it like running with your buddies who you're trying to train up another generation to love running?
For me, definitely being the young buck of the group, it's really, really awesome. It was really awesome to get to run with guys that are much kind of older than me and have more experience, and it was really an honor to get invited to be on their relay. So,
did they make you run the longest leg?
Indeed they did. Indeed they did.
Why do y'all always do that? You make the young one run the furthest.
He has more energy than we do.
In our defense, we just finished running Boston 2 weeks ago, so we're tired, and he's training for a marathon, so he needs that longer leg, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was doing the half, so I had to be the first leg. So.
And also, like, for long-distance runners, 5Ks really suck.
Yeah, I think we got the short end of it, actually. That was the harder part for me. I don't like that distance.
What do you guys want to say? You're from here. What did it mean to have the crowd all along the course today?
For me, my whole leg was right in my home neighborhood, so the whole way was just really energetic. It really kept me on pace the whole way, and yeah, it was a great time.
You just got back from Boston. I mean, that's such an elite competition too. But what does Oklahoma City mean to you to run here today?
I mean, it's home, so it's just nice to. I mean, one of our best friends just ran the full and he won, so it's home, you know.
Okay, what about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I've not done, like, I haven't run super hard at this race before. I think I've run the half a few times, but to do this and get to kind of run in the front, finish up, you know, we were doing it not just for us, but, you know, to be an example for the kids that we coach and stuff like that we can still kind of drop the hammer and run fast and, you know, show them how it's done a little bit.
Yeah, it's great. These trophies are you know, in the hands of, you know, coaches, and you know, we just want to inspire the next generation of runners. That's our goal.
Well, there you guys go. Congratulations, Oklahoma Coaches Collective, the winner of our Oklahoma City 2023 relay team. Looking good, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they're inspiring, of course. Robin, thank you. They're inspiring all the kids they teach, no doubt, with in the winner's circle there.
So
Congrats
impressive.
to them. Yeah.
So we are getting really close to this crowd just going wild once again as our lead female marathon runner is getting very close. Let's go out to our track truck and Lacey Swope. Lacey?
Oh, guys, here she goes. She has picked up the pace. We are on the straightaway now, and it's amazing to see. These are all the half marathon runners beside her. She's virtually lapping them, and they are cheering her on. The first female that has passed these runners, and that has really, I think, helped to give her this boost. She knows she is almost done. This is the fastest we have seen her run all morning long. She's all smiles. She's got a very serious determination in her face, but every time someone cheers for her, she gives them a thumbs up. She's getting the crowd going, and look at her go. There is not another female marathon runner in sight of her as far back as we can see. And guys, she is making those huge long strides, and we are almost to the end. She's almost won it. Back to you.
Yeah, she's almost there, Lacey, no doubt about that. That's
Christy
that's fun to
Coleman
watch.
right there.
Yeah.
Mark Bravo bringing in our running expert, our running analyst. So what's your take as you watch her come down the home stretch here?
Just what Lacey said. She indeed, much like Al, has sped up. And I noticed she separated from Jonathan there. They've run basically 25 miles together. And she actually just put the hammer down. And sometimes when things are going so well, she's feeling it. But you literally almost get outside your body. You garner that momentum and you use it, and it can become easier. You can feel less now. It can be agonizing. It can be the other end of the extreme, and I think she is enjoying it.
You feel like you can go further.
Yeah, you don't want to go further, but maybe you're not feeling what you really are taking in.
No,
she looks just super, and you're seeing the case of multiple really well-run races in terms of strategy. Whether they did it partially on the fly, looks like all of them ran their own race. We're talking about these winners.
You know we're getting close to the end when our lead truck has to pull off about 2/10 of the mile left, and then we're watching from Bob Mills Sky News 9 the aerial shot as she is getting so close.
How much fun is it for them to finish when they see all these other runners right next to them cheering them on? I mean, that has to give her a boost, no doubt.
I think so, and it really gives those other runners a boost. They love seeing the elite, and they get fired up, and it also can make them feel, again, they're running the same streets as these elite athletes.
I'm sure if we watched long enough, you'd see some of these runners that would just start running. If maybe they're kind of run walking, and they're walking, all of a sudden they start running after she goes past. They're like, oh shoot, we're close.
Now I hear many times, my only goal was for the lead marathoner not to beat me. And like beating the gov, you know, whatever it takes, you got to have a carrot out there.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for bringing that up again, Mark.
Yeah, you betcha. Anything.
What an amazing sight to see. Christy Coleman right there. She has been training so hard for this moment, and this is her day today. She was the half marathon winner last year. And so she decided at the last minute to come on board and do the marathon today.
And she got herself maybe a little bit of an entourage out there. She had some training partners that guided her along the way. I don't know if that's a pacing thing or just to have company, just encouragement, I'd imagine. And I'm sure she was encouraging her partners as well. Her husband's out there on a bike. I mean, she had this thing down.
Yeah. I mean, she's seasoned. She's been around this stuff before. And as you see often, especially with the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, folks want to come back and run. They do it the first time, largely for the premise and all they've heard about it, but especially seasoned runners, they won't go back generally. If the race isn't organized well, run well, there's not all the support you need in terms of even hydration and nutrition stations. The crowd, of course, is a great intangible, and she is just in her glory, about to notch her second victory here.
Yeah, I don't see her quite yet, but here she comes. She's making the turn.
They're getting ready to pull out the marathon tape that she can run through the finish line tape. They are getting prepared at the finish line as we speak.
Yeah, what a moment for her, just to jump into this thing somewhat last minute and then take home first place. That's impressive.
And how proud her little boys, ages 10, 7, and 4 years old, must be to see their mom win the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
And you met her at the expo, right?
She was out at the expo on Friday, and I was introduced to her as somebody that was going to do quite well here. And no doubt about it, she is.
Was that quite well wink, like, and then probably first?
I did take my picture with her, which I'll be posting later on. So, yes, I knew she would do all right. But then again, you never know how these races can go.
That's right, and she's going to break 2:52. Just over 6.5 minute pace.
So this is impressive when you compare it to other marathons in the past. Her final.
For her, yeah, she's going to be. I don't know what her 2:51 and change was. Maybe this is a course record. It's apparently within a few seconds of it. There she was.
Congrats to Christy Coleman, our winner
now,
on the women's side.
I don't know which race, but Joan Benoit Samuelson, the aforementioned Olympic gold medal winner in the marathon, was going to hold a finisher tape for somebody here. I don't know if it was the women's half, but what a thrill that would be if you see her holding that tape and you break it. Because everybody in the sport knows who she is.
Yeah.
Very well known for sure. Something else that's special about this race is you have the legends who are out here, but you also have the family members of victims who died in the bombing. You have survivors who are down here. They're so very much involved. In fact, they are out here passing out some of the medals. They're out here at some of the finish line water stations. So this is a very special day for them as well.
No question. That is one of the key elements of this race. You've got dignitaries passing it out, but there's a good chance you will have a family member or a survivor giving you your finisher's medal.
That's kind of a tradition inside the tradition here. And it's going back to the very first one of these. It's a special moment indeed, for sure.
Another tradition here is we'll be talking to the winner. So Robin Marsh, will be talking with her shortly with the winner. But also another tradition is the Finish Line Festival down here. So all of the runners, once they get done and get their medal, then they will go into Scissortail Park. And there they get treated to a Spark Burger. They started grilling up these things at 4 a.m. this morning.
They're trying to make 2,000 burgers an hour at Spark, so every half marathon and full marathon finisher can have one. Is that the ideal post meal, a burger? Because it kind of sounds ideal to me.
Anything is the ideal post meal. I'll tell you what. I didn't run a mile today. I'm not missing one of those. Yeah, they're going after them, and I'm so glad the hamburger tradition was brought back to the marathon by Spark.
Our Haley Wager's down there at the Finish Line Festival for us. Haley, a party going on there now.
Absolutely, you guys. There is so much energy here at the Finish Line Festival. Like you guys said, so many burgers. I have not seen a runner come out of here and not look like they're just enjoying that burger so much. There's drinks, there's food trucks down on the corner, there's funnel cakes. Anything you could need post-marathon, they have it here. There's a recovery center as well. So literally anything you could need. There's family and friends just posted all the way around the park waiting for their runners to come in, and you can just see that joy and happiness and some sense of relief that they've made it through this. Just such a special time, and it's really packing in now. It took a little while, of course, and now just packed here in the park. There's live music, and we'll be out here all day talking to runners. It's just such a special time for them. Back to you guys.
All right, Haley, we appreciate it. Let's send it out to our Robin Marsh, who has the winner, Christy Coleman, on the women's side. Robin.
We're live on News 9. We are live right now on News 9 with the winner of the women's marathon, Christy Coleman. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How did you do that?
Well, logically, 1 foot at a time, but I just kind of got my head out of it. I ran with a great group of guys, and they took me through exactly how I wanted to go. And I didn't even think about it at all. So
I think they're saying it's within seconds of breaking the record.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll take my time with whatever it is.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you were doing great. What was it like with seeing the crowd along the way for 26 miles?
You know what? It was really encouraging this year. I did the half last year, and the year before I did Boston, so it's been a few years since I've done OKC full. And there were a lot of people in all the different neighborhoods. And that was encouraging because I just feel like we had fans the whole way.
You're a mom. Tell me about your kids.
Oh, yes. 3 boys, 10, 7, and 4. My 10-year-old was going to bike with my husband this morning. And then he's like, oh, that's a far ways to bike. But my younger 2 left to bike and they left to run. It's all boys all the time in our house.
I love it, and I know they're so proud of you. What do you want to say to the city of Oklahoma City for all the support and why we remember to run on this day?
Yeah, so just thank you. I will tell you this, when I was sitting in bed last night thinking, I was like, there's 168 people who will never have this opportunity ever again. And when I was finishing, that's exactly what I thought, that I was able to run and other people aren't. So I'm just grateful, I really am.
What was it like on Classen seeing those banners of the faces of the people that we do remember today?
It was warming in a way. It was realistic, and it was just a time to reflect and be like, I am capable of doing this. God's given me a gift, and I can go out here and run every day, and I love it.
Christy, congratulations. You are an inspiration to so many people, not even in Oklahoma, but really around the country for what you do and running. And we just love you so much.
Thank you, Robin.
You're a blessing.
Thank you.
Our marathon winner for the women's, Christy Coleman. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys. Wow, that trophy sure is nice.
Well, she said she's grateful to be able to do this, and That's special for her. Mark, I just want to get your thoughts on. She said the first thing she said was, "I want to get my head out of it." Her pacers helped get her. So what does she mean by that? Keep her head out of it.
Just run, not think too much. What you have mentioned multiple times today was the case. She said, the guys took me through exactly how I wanted to. So I think some of that was planned, and that's super. And it helped them too, I'm sure. And they will have something, a shared joy forever. That's what happens in this sport a lot. And it's personified in Oklahoma City, whether you're walking a 4-hour half marathon or winning a marathon.
And she remembered the mission of this marathon as well, able to keep that in perspective even while running a marathon. And so she walked away as the winner of the women's marathon today. What a beautiful day it is out here. We still have a lot more to cover, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with more of the celebration.
And welcome back. We're here on set now. We brought out all the hardware that these runners will be taking home. This is what they get at the end, the ribbon, or the medal, excuse me, and that's the one Amanda's holding here. That's for the full marathon there. But these are all done by MTM Recognition in Midwest City, and they take, first off, they do all sorts of awards that you've heard of, but they take real pride in these ones especially.
They do, and what you might notice on these medals, there is the survivor tree. And this medal, just like the tree, changes every single year. In fact, to give you a little background on how these medals are made and why it's so important for this local company to do that, take a look.
Hot off the press and bursting with color. These Memorial Marathon t-shirts are all shipping out before the race.
All hands on deck, making sure it all gets done, all gets delivered.
Calamity Jane's Apparel in Oklahoma City designed and printed the 26,000 shirts.
We're really proud to be a part of this. It's a really great symbol for Oklahoma because our shirts don't just stay here locally. They go out all across the country and the world. And it's just a small snippet of what the Oklahoma standard is.
Jasmine Farmer's family loves being a part of this labor of love. That's her mom sorting shirts.
It is fun. And for our kids who you're like, hey mom, there's a shirt out there, there's your shirt, or whatever the case is. It's so much fun to see people running on the streets, running through the sidewalks, practicing, and just like walking around town in those shirts. It's something to really be proud of.
Every color represents a different race, like the Governor's Relay, the Kids Marathon, the 26-miler.
We are actually already starting on next year's race, so it's a year-long process.
The design each year always focuses on the survivor tree. That's true from the cotton to the brass.
To see that tree evolve, the tree has changed, it's blossomed, it's grown, and the medal changes every year with that tree.
MTM Recognition in Midwest City has created the participant medals since the marathon started in 2001.
I think this is the most important thing that we do each and every year.
The trophy company makes a lot of very recognizable national awards, but the one that takes top prize for MTM is the Memorial Marathon Medal.
Our purpose statement is celebrating champions, and the marathon does it better than any organization. When you come through the marathon finish line and you're draped with a medal, it's significant. It means a lot.
Mike Ketcherside runs the marathon each year.
The very first medal was obviously just green. That was the color. So it certainly has evolved.
He has quite the collection of marathon medals his company made over the years.
And a lot of our employees lived it. They remember 1995 and the tragedy that struck this great city. And so for us to be a part of that was really meaningful to our employees.
It's delivery day. Nearly 2 tons of medals now sitting in the marathon warehouse.
Here's the big one.
Waiting to be distributed on race day.
Awesome. Good, good, Mike.
17,500 medals that will hang proudly on the necks of everyone who runs to remember.
And these medals mean so much. These medals mean so much to the participants who get them, including my 2 kiddos who got them yesterday for the kids run.
Yeah, my son Kellen, he ran the 5K, and I knew the one way I could get him motivated was I took a picture of the medal and I showed him on the phone. I'm like, hey, this is what you're running for, and he was like, oh, we get that? Like, yes, you get that. That got him out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning.
It was bright and
Saturday.
early, and then one of the inaugural race for the senior marathon happened this year. The very first time the senior marathon has ever happened here with Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, and you ran that as well.
Took me 23 years to get a medal at Oklahoma City. This one's staying with me. It was absolutely super out there, that race. Seeing you do the 5K, you guys have been all over these courses this weekend, and what a great addition, that senior. It's a race of inclusion.
And I would say it was fun to see you on the course encouraging everyone. I saw Mark out there, probably the only one in shorts. It was really cool. I'm like, oh, that's Bravo over there. Oh, yeah, and just coaching everyone, giving everyone encouragement. So, and you need that for sure for this.
And so many runners, well, I shouldn't say so many. I don't know how many actually, but some of them ran yesterday and then run again today.
Indeed, that they are striving for the weekend series medal, extra medal, and that means you ran a 5K yesterday and either the half or full today. MTM does that medal too, along with an extra element that has been here for about 3 years. It's called the Oklahoma Challenge medal. That is if you run half or full marathon at Oklahoma City in April, and then our sister marathon down the road in the year, mid-November, the Route 66 Marathon. Run a half or full at Oklahoma City, half or full at Route 66. That's a coveted medal.
That's impressive.
In Tulsa, you'll get that weekend, you'll get that Oklahoma Standard medal.
And in one of the more inspiring jobs you could do as a volunteer is to be at the finish line.
Isn't that the truth?
And put a medal around someone's neck. And Rob Marsh has more on that. She joins us now live. Robin.
I'm right at the finish line, and Ben Rowland from Guthrie is handing out medals to the racers. Ben, I just pulled you out for a second, and what has it been like for you today to reward these runners with the medal?
Oh, it's just so humbling to watch all of these athletes cross the finish line. Such a huge accomplishment. It's just so awesome to be out here supporting it. Just such a great venue out here.
It's been a great day. The weather is absolutely beautiful. The sun is kind of in full force right now. I mean, as these people are crossing the line, what are they saying to you?
Oh, it's crazy. Some of them are just stopping to take pictures like it's no big deal. Others are struggling a little bit, but either way, they've all finished, and it's just such a great accomplishment for them all.
You're here with some workers from Guthrie in Shurica.
In Shurica.
Why did you guys as a group want to come and do this?
We just love to be part of the community, give back to our clients, our community, and just be part of this amazing event. It's such a great thing every year, all these people coming out, getting together, and just remembering and that Oklahoma tradition.
You actually run recreationally as well, so has there been a time that you've had a medal from a 5K or a half?
Nothing substantial like this. This is way out of my element, and every one of these people finishing the crossing the finish line are doing something that I could definitely never do. So it's incredible watching them all.
Oh, that is so great. Here, a couple of guys getting their medals.
Great job.
Hey, how far did you run?
Full marathon.
Full marathon. What's your name?
I'm Jaden Swearingen.
Where are you from, Jaden?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Well, you know what? Today we'll say welcome to Oklahoma, big guy.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks so much. He's got that marathon medal around his neck. Ben's already back handing out more medals. I have two. I ran the 5K yesterday, and about 7 years ago, I ran the half, and I think that was harder than having a baby, Amanda, to be truthful with you. And I think it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Well, we are so proud of you, Robin, for doing it, though. You are absolutely amazing. Great work down there at the finish line for us, Robin. We'll be talking with you more a little bit later on. Just to give you the big picture here, with all the races, 18,804 runners with all of the races between yesterday and today. If you were to break that down, 7,083 runners yesterday.
Yeah, and this has just turned into a weekend of events, starting with the Runners Expo on Friday, but it is not just a thing that happens on Sunday. It's also obviously happened yesterday as well, and people getting in on that. With more on Saturday's festivities, here is Addie Crawford.
It has been so much fun kicking off Memorial Marathon weekend, and that fun's just going to keep on going from the crowd to the runners. The energy has been electric. Here's a breakdown from the 5K senior race and kids race. Check it out.
It's time for a celebration. At just 16 minutes and 8 seconds, Luis Chavez wins the 5K for the second year in a row.
Knowing that I went like a minute faster than last year, legs are feeling good, so amazing.
And the female side, only 15 years old, but still running to remember.
I heard stories from my grandma who worked down the street, so just knowing how emotional it is for everyone else and getting to run to help people remember.
For the first time ever, seniors also took the course. One senior marathoner honoring his cousin who survived the mural building bombing and just passed last year.
I need to do this for Raymond, so I've been practicing all year.
All of this to kick off this weekend of celebration. Addie Crawford, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
Such fun yesterday.
Congrats to everyone who took part. I don't think it matters what race you're doing. You have that adrenaline pumping when you're right before you cross the starting line. There's something about race day. There's some kind of energy that you tap into that you had no idea you had. You know, you probably didn't get much sleep the night before. You have to wake up. It's kind of cold down here, but you hear a little bit of music at the starting line, and you're off, and you feel like you can run 100 miles. You know.
That's true, and good point. We like to tell runners, especially for the longer distances, the focus rest night is the night before the night before, because the last night all bets are off. You never know what will happen. Don't worry about it. But as you said, any connection to this race and any race you happen to do, you're a part of it. And that's the pinnacle message for most of these folks. Yeah. And doing it differently, running some yesterday, running a lot of races in the past, not so many now. Yesterday was different. I've never run a race basically that short, and it had everything for me. Golly, I might have to do a few more of these things.
You're like, I think I might do a 50-yard dash. Feeling good with these shorter races.
Where has this been all my life?
We are so glad that we can be bringing you all of this fun and excitement going on around us out here. It is the 23rd annual Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. We'll continue our coverage in just a moment.
Well, we have been talking so long about these experienced runners. We do want to do a shout out to the first-time runners as well. That includes Amanda's husband. And boy, Nick Hilton, by the way, hats off to him. He did great, did the half marathon, and he had never run a race before today.
He never even ran a fun run in his life. And I started talking this thing up. I'm like, it is so much fun. The more I hear about it, I'm like, and he's like, okay, well, I can do this. I'm just going to do the half. And he finished. I was so proud of him. Less than 9 hours and 30, or 9 hours.
It was less than 9 hours.
It was. I can guarantee that.
We'll get him
tonight.
tonight.
He did 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I should say that as his pace. So very proud of him. And really all the runners out there today and the fans as well and the communities that have come together.
No, absolutely. You know, we've just been kind of bouncing around with these neighborhoods and seeing the festivities going on. We have Bobby Miller, who's out at the Asian District. And I just want to say, Bobby, before we toss it to you and Alex, you would be very proud. I made our win over the governor in 2019 in the relay a very, very big deal. I made that a point of our broadcast to bring that up.
As you should, Carl. We were great relay team members. It was fantastic. Okay, I've got Alex Cameron back out here with me, you guys, and it is a party still in the Asian District.
It is a big party.
I mean, we have dancers, dragon dancers.
Yes, we do. We have dragon dancers. You know, one of the neat things is we've watched this race evolve over the years. 23 years now.
Yes.
We've got to see the city grow too, and this is an area that has grown. The Asian District has grown. They show so much spirit here and so much support for this race, and I can barely hear what I'm saying because the music is so loud.
I know, it's cool to be a runner to hear this music, you know, for 30 seconds.
Yes.
But we've been listening to it for about 2 hours.
So that,
I'm gonna go to sleep with that dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun.
No, but you can see the runners coming by. We've still got some half marathoners walking by. We have some really excellent marathoners coming by. I mean, these are people awesome. And then there are relay teams too. So this is a great location right here at mile 23. It's hitting hard right now. You're like, I got to make this. I can do it.
Yes.
You're going to do it one day.
I cannot wait, Alex, to lace back up for this. So the folks coming by right now, it's so neat because some of these people walk it. They walk the full marathon, and that is amazing because that's a long walk. And we've got these runners who, again, are still powering up to make it all the way to the finish line. And we just can't believe how much it's grown. The Asian District loves being a part of this, and they go all out. It's a big thing for them. They like it here. So, you're next, Alex.
There you go. I mean, really, we should have some of this at the finish line, Carl. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's for sure a point of pride for all the neighborhoods involved with this. They come out there and they want to be supportive of all the runners out there.
It's drawing a lot of attention to a lot of areas in our town as well as these runners go through. And as soon as they get past this finish line, you know where they're going? They're going out to the Finish Line Festival. And that's where we find our very own Haley Wager standing by for us. Hi, Haley.
Hi guys. Well, part of what makes this day so special, and I know Amanda, Carl, you were talking about this earlier, is all of these traditions. And one of them we have here, we have the ceremonial bell. People have been ringing it all day. And what makes this so special is the bell here was actually on one of the fire trucks that responded to the bombing. It's been on a few fire trucks since, and it looks like it retired in 1996, it says on this plaque here. And then down here, we actually have some granite that was part of the Murrah building. So again, we have a runner here. So many people just lining up to ring this bell. So if you beat your personal record, you can come and ring the bell. And so much joy coming here when you beat it and you finish and you're just so relieved and so happy. You can come up and ring the bell. Let's see if we have anyone else. You want to come ring the bell? Here we go. We have one more coming up to ring it. We love it. Just so many people out here coming to ring it. Oh, we have another one. Hopefully we'll draw more of a crowd now. So there we go. We're loving it. Back to you guys.
What I love about that is, there's not one person just going up there and ringing the bell. They know what that means, and they wouldn't dare ring it if it wasn't their best PR.
That's true.
That's awesome about it.
It's important stuff.
Oh, for sure.
So that's there, and let us invite you, if you are at home, away from downtown, come downtown to the Finish Line Festival. That party is going to be going on a little past noon today and probably beyond that as well. All the racers today, they get one of 10,000 Spark Burgers being grilled up since 4 o'clock this morning, and a beer as well if they're over the age of 21.
And they might even have a couple of beers.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I gotta go back to get to my room. I hope I have a tab for a beer because I'm going to the finish.
People look forward to that as well. This is a really big deal.
And I think that's what it is also. It's changed. I mean, the first time I took part, it was 2014. Did the half. We finished out on Broadway, and it was great. I love the experience. I can't wait to do it again. I will say, though, then we had the relay in 2019, and then and this became part of it. Scissortail Park became part of it, and it did become more of this party atmosphere, and I think for the better, for sure. I mean, there's people that have a lot to celebrate. There's a lot of hard work that went in. They've had this circuit on their calendar, and here they are, getting PR, just finishing the race, first-time runners like your husband. And so, you want the party to last, and I'm glad it does now a little bit more than it did in the past.
Yes, as you say, evolving to 2 days, being able to do the double we talked about, 5K and a long distance, or relay also, is a big thing. And in this region, Oklahoma City is a major marathon, and it's on the national stage certainly as well. And with something like 19 countries represented, it's always an international affair too, but it only gets more and more premier from modest start to an incredible full weekend.
It started back in 2001 by just a couple of businessmen who thought Oklahoma City should have a marathon and it should benefit the Oklahoma City Memorial. And boy, has it grown from fewer than 5,000 runners to what we have today, nearly 19,000 runners registered for these runs.
And I think, when we're talking in the world of running, the Boston Marathon, right? It doesn't get any better than the Boston Marathon. You have to qualify for it. This is a qualifier. And we have a number of Oklahomans that go and do it. If they qualify for it, they don't want to miss Boston. But what I think is special about this is they wouldn't dare miss this. And just a few weeks later, or just a couple weeks later, right?
13 days. They run on Patriots Day on a Monday.
Yeah, so they hit Boston, but there's no way they're missing this. They want to be a part of it. Maybe they aren't doing the full, but they're a part of some race, and I think that makes this extra special.
You hear that theme spoken all the time, and it's so great. Yes, yes. That speaks volumes to this race because Boston, again, you have a time goal you must reach unless you do it as a charity runner, and it's a different level of focus. And normally you're still in recovery mode, but so many want to do something here, they make it priority. And even others from out of state will do something here often. But Oklahomans, they don't want to miss this if at all possible.
Let me tell you, if you're watching this at home and you're not involved, next year is your year. If you're not a runner, that's okay. 2,500 volunteers making this event happen. You can be involved so many different ways before the race, during the race, and after the race. And since this is our first year as a broadcast partner, I can just tell you, it has been a blast. I am so excited that we are a part of this.
Can you believe we've been doing this for 4 hours today? And it has flown by. And people say that, right? It's going to go quick. Like, will it? Okay. It's cold. We get here. We had a crews that showed up at 2 o'clock this morning to put everything together. So just hats off to them. And I'm just so proud of Oklahoma City on a day like this.
We are. And we leave you with a look of the sights and sounds from today.
Here we go for the 2023 Memorial Marathon.
2, 1.
Really just that message of hope.
So like seeing an event where like everyone can come together and have a positive mentality is one of my favorite things ever.
It's a reminder again to us that we really never forget.
This is a time to celebrate and remember.
We have a winner now in the men's half marathon.
The neighborhood set it apart.
It's bananas out here, I tell you. The crowd is cheering her on down here.
That's why we run, that's why we run to remember.
So proud of
Thank
you.
you. Hey, thank you. Oh man.
He keeps getting better and better, so the competition was great.
You're champion on the men's side.
Congratulations to him.
It felt good to finally win.
Congrats to Christy Coleman.